What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody tuning in with me tonight, man. We got us a good stream tonight. What's up, Tyler? What's up, everybody on Rumble, YouTube? What's up, guys? Appreciate y'all tuning in with me tonight, man. In Japan, you can hire old men to spend time with you. What the fuck? That's crazy. I don't think I'd be hiring some old dude to spend time with me. That's for damn sure. Let me go ahead and let's get us pulled up here. What's up, guys? Appreciate y'all tuning in with me tonight, man. Got a pretty good stream tonight, man. Hopefully Burge is okay, man. I ain't seen him in past couple days, man. Hopefully he's doing all right. Maybe he's getting tired of streaming. Maybe he's not feeling good. I don't know. Something going on. But at any rate, tonight we're going to be checking out. He was sick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I hope he gets to feeling better, man, because I noticed I hadn't seen him in the past few days, which is kind of not like him. You know what I mean? I know he's been streaming the birds and stuff, but that's about it. Had a sore throat. Okay. Yeah, I knew something was up because I knew I hadn't seen him in a while. But we're going to check out. So apparently, this guy says he's worked at a toxic company for 15 years and he got nowhere. 15 years as a slave. And then we're going to check out Look Maxing. Do y'all know what Look Maxing is? I've never heard of Look Maxing. I don't even have the slightest fucking clue what it is. So, at any rate, y'all, let's go ahead and jump straight into this shit.
Oh. All right, this one's rich. This one goes, I worked at a toxic company for 15 years and got nowhere. 15 years a slave. All right, buckle up. So I already watched some of this, and this guy is just spilling the tea on the small family business. It's really good. And just a heads up, he swears more than I do. But this is great. I didn't finish it, but this is top tier stuff.
Okay,
This is
let's
my
see.
story of working for a small family owned roofing company for 15 years,
Ooh,
busting my ass and not getting anywhere
Classic.
at this little rink.
well, see, that was your first mistake right there, dude. Working for a family company. Like, I'm not shitting on small companies because I had a small store myself. But you work for a family business, man. It's not like corporate business. Like, you're probably not getting health care. You might be getting paid well, but you're not getting health care and all that shit. It's not happening.
Eating freaking place. So the family owned company is owned by two brothers, Tim and Jeff. I think, yeah, I'm using their real names. I don't care. Fuck these people. I hate these people.
Fuck them.
Everyone in the
Fuck
damn
them.
story. So the guy who owns the place, Tim, he married some rich woman, right? And
Yeah.
from what I hear, her dad gave him a roofing company, right? So yeah, these guys really.
Yeah, if you work for a family business, there's only so far you can go up the ladder. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about working for a family business or a mom and pop.
Work to get where they're at.
That's got to be nice. Hey, can't blame him for that one, though.
And then his younger brother Jeff, who's a lazy piece of shit, he'd do the flat roof inside, which is what I worked on. So I worked, God, 15 years from when I was 22 till I was 37. And yeah,
Damn.
call me an idiot. I should have left this place
Yeah, he should. That's his fault, man. He shouldn't have stayed there that long if he didn't like it. If he didn't like it, he shouldn't have stayed there that long.
over 10 plus years before I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't making shit. And the reason I quit is because this was 2019. I was making $22 an hour, or no, 19 bucks an hour after 15 years at this piece of shit place.
No.
Holy shit, dude. He worked there for 15 years and only making $19 an hour. Shit, most of the jobs now you could go get starting at like close to $19 an hour. Damn, he stayed with them for 15 years. $19 an hour.
Oh,
Busting my ass.
19 an hour
Damn.
to do roofs?
I thought roofers got paid more than that. I thought roofers were making something closer to like $30 an hour. Holy shit.
Come
Not in
on,
North
dude.
Carolina.
I'm not laughing, but that's fucked up.
That's crazy.
Tim and Jeff, piece of shits.
For
Oh,
real.
this guy's good. We'll just wait. It gets good.
Yeah, call me dumb all you want. I should have left a long ass time ago.
Yeah,
But,
probably.
as a man, when you got a mortgage to pay, like you're not looking around.
North Carolina minimum wage is 7.25. Is that still true to this day? It's still 7.25? That's fucking crazy, dude. Shit, here in Florida where I'm at, minimum wage is like $15 an hour. Damn. North Carolina. See, now back when I was younger, it used to be 8.25 an hour here in Florida, but now it's closer to 15 an hour. But 7.25 for minimum wage? That's fucked.
And you get content where you're at, even though it's a hellhole. So the thing was,
Guilty.
Jeff calls me in his office. He's like, "Oh, we got 14 roofs coming up. It's gonna be real busy." Da da da. And at this point, I haven't
14 roofs. Holy
gotten
shit.
a raise in like 5 years. I know. I'm an idiot. I know. And so then he's like, "We're gonna bump you up to 22." So that's like a $3 raise. And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, bro, you haven't given me a raise in like 5 years. It's like I want at least, $5, $6. So I was ready to settle, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he could get like 25 an hour, closer to 30 an hour, I think most of the roofers in my area are making closer to 30 an hour. That's crazy, dude. Because that's some hard ass work to be up on that roof all day, especially in the middle of summer in Florida. Man, it's hot as shit. Tyler says when I started working at Pizza Hut, I started at $9 or $10 an hour. That's not too bad. I mean, for delivering pizza, that's not bad. Plus, you probably get tips and stuff.
I was like, you know what? Give me $24 an hour and I'll stick around. And
I hate to laugh, but when you hear these numbers,
Oh, you didn't deliver?
I'm sitting here going,
Oh, was you just like work behind the counter or like made the pizzas?
if I'm literally putting roofs on people's houses, I feel like 25 starting is like the bare minimum. I don't get
That was prep and dish. Yeah, okay. I'm with him though. If I'm doing roofing, 25 minimum starting. Shit, making $19. Damn, you could get an office job making $19 an hour.
give a shit if it's 2018 when we're talking about this. I don't care. Like, I commend everybody out there, brothers. If you've done this, I would never. I've worked at places for 3 hours, walked straight up to the person who hired me, said, "Thank you so much. Don't even worry about my paycheck."
I've done the same thing. I've done the same fucking thing. There was a job there back when I was like 20, it was either 20 or 21. I got a job at a warehouse and it was a night shift. It was from like 6 in the evening to like 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. And yeah, man, I didn't even last the night. I was there for maybe half the shift. I was there for maybe 4 hours. And I just told him, I said, you know what? I said, I appreciate the job, but this isn't for me. Not for me. The money they were paying me wasn't worth it. I think they were only paying me maybe like $11 an hour at the time. I was like, nah, the money's not even worth it. So I fucking walked out, dude. Fucking walked out. He could have gone to McDonald's and made more. Yeah, he could have went to McDonald's and started at $15 an hour. And then if he'd been with McDonald's for 15 years, he might even be a store manager, and the managers actually make pretty good money. Some of the managers make like 60, 70K a year.
I'm gonna skedaddle. Straight up. Straight up. So I commend people who even like stick it out for just a little bit. I guess maybe I've just never put up with it. No way. No fucking. I've done drywall.
I can't do it, man. Like if people, especially if your boss is a dickhead, no, I can't do it. If my boss is a dickhead, I'm walking out. 100%.
Before? No. No. I had to do it. I lasted like 6 months. Demolitions, drywall. And I had to at the time. I had to. I really didn't have a choice. But the moment I had a choice, I'm out. Fuck that. No offense. No offense. But when you're getting paid dog shit to do, we're talking, this is men here.
Yeah.
Manly stuff.
Yeah, when you're talking hard labor, if you're going to be do roofing or construction, drywall, you're going to be doing asphalt or concrete, any kind. If you're doing labor work, man, you need to get paid decent money because that's hard work. And I'm not shitting on anybody that does that kind of work because that's real work. Does he have top teeth? Who you talking about, Tyler? You talk about the dude in the one on the left or the right? Because if you're talking about the dude on the left, he had an infection. He had to have all his top teeth pulled out, and he was supposed to get a bridge put in.
Dude, you gotta have a little respect for yourself. You gotta command. You gotta command the money. No way. Somebody out there will pay you. If you need to hear this right now, maybe you are somebody getting paid like shit doing manly stuff and you actually have the skills. Just know that you can command the money. Yeah, this is unreal.
He pulls this bullshit he always pulls.
I can't believe he stayed there making $19 an hour for that long. Like I would have been looking for another job.
He says, "Oh yeah, we'll see how you're doing after the summertime. I know how this goes." He says that. He's like, "Oh, we'll see at the end of summer." End of summer comes, "Yo, what's up with my raise?" "Oh, we'll see at the end of winter." Okay. I've already played this game with him before. And then at the end of winter, I'm like, "So what's up with that raise?" He's like, "Oh, we're not giving raises." It's just a way of bullshit. So you
Yeah,
just
it's
like
not
go
coming.
away and quit asking.
That's the best.
So this fool don't want to give me $24 an hour. Keep in mind, roofing, doing tear-offs, tearing off 4 layers of roof, commercial side, it's hell. You start at 5 a.m., you get off at 6, you're fucking burned to a crisp.
No way.
And this fool didn't want to give me...
Yeah, dude, especially in Florida, man. You do roofing in Florida in the middle of summer, man. You gonna be sunburned from head to toe, boy. Most of them guys will even wear long sleeve shirts. And I'm like, dude, they got to be fucking hot. Being up on that roof, long pants, long sleeve shirts. That's crazy. Yeah, Texas too, even Georgia. Pretty much most of the southern states.
Me $24 an hour. So I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this fucking place. Let me go ahead and put my 2 weeks in.
No, 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 no. No, absolutely not. Do not put your 2 weeks in. No, fuck them. Don't put the 2 weeks in. Do they give you 2 weeks notice when they fire you? No, no company does. No company gives you 2 weeks notice. You come in one day, they say, "Hey, you're fired." So if you want to quit, just quit. I wouldn't even give them 2 weeks notice. Fuck them.
Oh, dude. No, you know what? You know what's crazy? Usually this actually works. I've done this at 2 different establishments, different careers, but 2 times now I've worked at restaurants. I was a bartender for a long time and a waiter. And literally the moment, and I
Gave
wasn't there
Amazon no
long. We're
notice.
talking 3 months.
Good job, Tyler.
Where I walked up and said, "Hey, if I'm not bartending in the next 2 weeks, I'm out." Both times, I was a bartender. In other words, I need a raise. That's how that works. Usually at places, bartenders will make almost double what a waiter makes. So that was my way of saying, "Hey, if I don't get a raise soon, I'm later." And it worked both times. Another time, one of my best friends in the world, he was getting...
Man, I wouldn't even give him the satisfaction of even texting him. I wouldn't even give him a call, wouldn't give him a notice, wouldn't give him nothing. I just wouldn't show up. Like, sorry. Because because these companies don't give you any notice when they fire your ass. You know?
Dicked off doing blue collar. And I said, dude, just tell them you're going to quit. They'll probably give you a raise. Guess what? He called me later that day. He goes, dude, I told him I was going to quit. $5 raise. I said, hallelujah. Then he ended up leaving like 6 months later for a $10 raise at another job. And the company begged him to stay. And he's like, well, if you
Dang.
can't meet my new demands of 40 an hour, I can't stay. It was almost like this mindset shifted so quickly. It's honestly kind of crazy, especially if you know what you're worth.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing too. If you're going to go in for a job interview, don't sell yourself short, man. Like, if you're going to go in there, they ask you, they're like, well, what do you think you should be paid an hour? Or what do you think, shit, just go fucking high. Don't sell yourself short, man. Don't say, like 14 an hour, 15. Fuck it. Tell them, 28 an hour, 30 an hour. Go super high and make them come down. But if you start at like 20 or $15 an hour, you're hurting yourself because if you say 15, then they're going to come down to like 12. So don't sell yourself short.
But if you don't think you're worth anything, people do stay places that ultimately they get paid like shit. And quite frankly, they get treated like crap. Not cool. But anyways, this guy, this is good. He quit, so he's going somewhere here.
So I put in my 2 weeks today. He's like surprised, because I've been there 15 years. And then he ends up,
Wait, hold on, hold
what?
on, time out. Time out. Tyler says he was fired from Chili's after 5 years over the phone with cops at my house sent from them. Why'd they send cops to your house? Would you would you do steal from them or set their place on fire?
The funny thing is, when I quit, right before they got busy getting slammed with Fortune roofs, I'm so glad I quit when I did. And it was before COVID, right before COVID hit,
Yeah.
when they got screwed over even more with supplies. But so I quit, and what's he do? He didn't want to pay me $24 an hour, right?
Yeah.
They hire 3 guys to replace me. Probably making $22. So you'd rather spend $66 an hour instead of just give me another $2. But that place is stupid. And when I first started, it was such a horrible place. You had the piece of shit brothers.
Well, I mean, it was a horrible place, I'm sure, but it's kind of his stupidity for sticking it out that long. He should have stayed that long because a coworker was scared that I was going to go to work with a sword and cut her feet off. Ah, that's great. That's great, Tyler. Hell yeah. That's funny. That's hilarious. I would have been laughing. Yeah, fuck her. Cut her feet off.
Jeff and Tim, and then they had a couple of their no good ass buddies being the foreman on the roof, and they were Scott and Scott.
Oh,
That's what their names was.
I don't
Scott
like
and
them.
Scott.
And these guys were pieces of shit too. So the
Everybody was a piece of shit there. What's the name of this family company? Everybody there was a piece of shit. We don't want to work it. We don't want to work wherever this is at.
roofing foremen, all they did, they just stand around on the roof all day talking to each other, doing absolutely nothing, just being like slave drivers. And I'm just so sick of these guys. And that went on for a few years. And then one of the Scots pissed off Jeff, the commercial roofing guy.
Look, I'm not shitting on this dude, but can we talk about? I was like, I totally have a sword. That's funny, Tyler. Can we talk about though? If this dude has been doing roofing for as long as he has, why does he? I mean, I guess it don't matter. I was gonna say he looks kind of overweight for doing a lot of, because most of the roofing guys that do roofing jobs are pretty jacked. Like they stay in good shape. They do stuff. They're giving each other handies, right?
And he fired him. But the other Scott, who was probably a better buddy with Jeff, the owner, co-owner.
Before he keeps going about the Scots, I just got to say shout out to Brushwater for sponsoring the channel. We're giving away $1,000. All you got to do is go to brushwater.com, buy yourself a case of water.
Wait, what? Breastwater. Thirsty for hope. Breastwater. Hey, Breastwater, if you're watching, you want to sponsor this channel? You're more than what you can sponsor this channel. Come on. What the hell? Breastwater?
They also support breast cancer. You're supporting a cause. You're hydrating yourself. We're giving away $1,000. Buy a case of water. Screenshot your order. Send that picture to them on Instagram at Breastwater, and we're going to pick somebody on July 14th to give $1,000 away. And also, if you are somebody with breast cancer, your family needs help, hit them up. They like to go direct to consumer, not just like give to a charity. Breastwater, good friends of mine, and for a good cause. Anyways, back to these pieces of shits.
No, Tyler, you're saying breastwater. That's why I said breastwater. I was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of that water.
Yeah, God, that piece of shit. He is like the laziest person I've ever met in my life. And if he ever had to do anything, he would bitch and moan about it, and you'd hear about it. So then it got to the point where he's still the roofing foreman, right? Standing around doing nothing, being a fat, lazy piece of shit, who's also a fucking idiot. This guy's an idiot.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
I don't know
True
if it tastes
story,
like
man.
breast milk,
True story. It's a real thing. I've worked for
but that's a crazy name for a water company.
family businesses. My dad owned a business. Kidding me? Poor dude Jerry, his little helper. He had other guys that made more money than Jerry, but Jerry was like his little bitch. And my dad could pay him as such because this guy had no other options. Right? Felon, not well spoken. He's going to have a hard time getting a gig. So my dad could pay him $10 an hour. I come and work for him. My dad's throwing me 100 for the day. Jerry made 70. What did I do? You know what I mean? Like, it's just who I knew.
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
way lazier than Jerry. Although me and Jerry did used to smoke some weed outside of the job sites. So I would
You
say we were
smoked some
both
weed.
equally kind of shitheads. But I just got paid more for being the equal amount of shithead. I mean, this is a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. But my point is
Start a company and
sometimes who
call
you
it
know does
penis
help.
water.
He's one of those people that's really stupid, but he talks to you like you're an idiot and he's really smart.
that's the best.
Yeah, I'm sure you know the type.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But, the co-owner Jeff always told us, if you have a problem with the guy and you all come together, I'll get rid of the guy. So that's what we were trying to do with his buddy Scott, right? Because this guy is just a waste of money and doesn't do anything. And if he didn't work for his buddy, he probably wouldn't get a job anywhere. So we all come together, right? This is about a few years in, right when I'm like, I'm pretty much, doing everything at this point. And Scott's still just on the roof doing absolutely nothing because he's buddies with the owner. So we all come together one day.
Like, what does this Scott guy do? Does he just fucking stand on the roof all day? Does he like just stand up there watching everybody? Like he don't even try to lay tiles or nothing.
Right? And we're all against him. I have my
is
notes and
good.
everything. I'm like, yeah, this dude's just a lazy piece of shit and doesn't do anything, and he's always running his mouth and he's pissing everyone off all the time. So what's Jeff do? Instead of getting rid of his lazy, worthless buddy, he promotes him. So we got this guy promoted.
Wait, no, we promoted the lazy piece of shit. The guy that's just standing around up on the roof, he gets promoted? What kind of bullshit is that? My stepdad is the type that talks to you like you're stupid when he is. Man, there's a lot of people who are like that. There's people out there, they'll talk down to people like they're just dirt when they're just probably as stupid, if not stupider.
Like
Crazy.
Piece of shit. Oh, no. This is, I mean, the guy quit. We're going somewhere here, okay? It says it in the title.
Well, he lasted longer than I would have. He would lasted a hell of a lot longer than I would have. I mean, he quit after 15 years. Shit, probably year two, I'd been out.
Finally made it out from the clutches of this damn family. He's using real names too. This is fun. But it is like that. A lot of my working career, real jobs, 10 years was in restaurants, and there was one spot. This one chick that worked there was a real wench. I mean, she sucked.
Mm.
Nobody liked her except for, you guessed it, the general manager.
Oh, shit.
So, what
Why is it always the people that are higher up that are always pieces of shit? It's always the manager or the boss or the owner. Why is it always the ones that are higher up that are dickheads?
do you think happened with that chick? You think since everybody hated her, she just got fired? No. She turned into our manager.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
It was like a this fear tactic. It was like if you wanted to call out of work or trade a shift, well, guess what? Next week you lose 2 shifts, so now you're losing fucking $400 of your paycheck.
Damn.
Pretty crazy environment. And I was bartending at this place, so I was making a lot of money. I was making 400, 500 Saturday night, $800 a night stripper money. And this manager
Stripper
one time,
money.
she finds out.
My coworker that got me fired was a piece of shit. Well, why'd your coworker get you fired? Hey, what's up, Yash? Over on YouTube? What's up, man?
She's relatively new to the restaurant. She knows, but when she finds out I'm the only guy bartender and she's counting out my money at the end of the night, I'm with her. And I usually get along with everybody, right? Even if I'm like, you suck, I'm still cool. Like, I'm not going to tell you, hey, I think you suck. Let's sit down and talk about this.
Wait a minute, Tyler, over on Kick, who is also an ex of mine. So your ex got you fired from your job?
No, I just keep moving. So the following week, and this was my Saturday shift, this was big money. I mean, I could just work Saturdays and make, 3,000 a month. Just work.
Yeah, dude, you never want to mix dating. You don't never want to date coworkers, man. Don't mix work and dating. You don't fucking want to do that, man. It never ends good.
In a Saturday, one Saturday a week. Pretty good deal. So, what do you know? The new schedule comes out. Who do you think is all of a sudden now working one bar shift a week? The fucking manager.
Yep.
And whose spot do you think she took? Anybody in here? Yeah, so
Took his
anyways, I
spot.
quit that place. I respect them. They gave me a great opportunity, but man, I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I was like, I'm never going to win here. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I was like, she took one of them, she's going to take them all. Like, just fucking kill me now. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, if you there you go. If you're gonna date a coworker, you need to date the district manager or whoever's like the top dog. Whoever the top female dog is in your company, that's who you need to date. Period. Don't date the waiter or waitress next to you. Go for the top dog.
That though. It's but hey, what are you going to do? You either stay there and take the bullshit or you leave. And sometimes money's a driving factor. People will do some
Sometimes,
stuff
yeah.
for money.
100%.
I think like an estimator position where the funny thing is the first 3 years this idiot Scott was in the office, he was in Jeff's office every single day asking him what to do because he had no clue what he's doing. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
At the point where
Like, boss, how do I lay these tiles down on the roof? How do I put these nails in? Like I fucking put a nail through my foot. How do I do this shit?
lazy piece of shit, Scott's an estimator now, got promoted from being, a lazy piece of shit. I'm running jobs now, right? What I forgot to mention, there's another buddy of co-owner Jeff, his buddy Mike. I hated this.
Oh. Oh, we all know a bunch of Mikes. There's a bunch of everybody that's named Mike and Scott are dickheads. All of them.
So his lazy ass starts, and I'm training this guy to do his job right. And keep in mind, this guy's making $5 more than me at the time when he started.
No, dude.
And I'm like a few years in already.
Damn.
So I'm training.
Damn, so this dude worked for 15 years for this company. And the person, hey, what's up? How the fuck do you say your name? Achintia? What's up, Achintia? On YouTube. Appreciate it. Not my Uncle Mike. He is dead. Your Uncle Mike is dead. Well, most people named Mike and Scott are dickheads. I'm sorry.
Right then and there, I would have, Mike, I would.
But how pissed off would you be if you work for a company for 15 years, right? They don't give you a raise, and then they hire somebody, and they're making $5 more than you, and you've been there for 15 years.
Would have been out. Right there, I would have been fucking gone. I mean, I don't know this guy's history as a kid.
Tyler, fuck
He said he
Scott.
has a mortgage. $19 an hour, you get a mortgage. Different times, man.
Why the
I get
fuck
that. You
is my
kind
eye
of
keep
you
watering?
might be a little stronghold, you know. God forbid you're supporting a family, but man, I would have no, no. Nope, that's just a spit in
No,
the
hell
face,
no.
dude. Oh man.
Paying this guy who makes more than me how to do my job. So then we eventually get to a point where we split off because Mike was always with me because he had no clue what he was doing and he was a lazy, useless idiot, just like Foreman.
Okay, but how do we know this guy isn't lying? How do we know this guy isn't a lazy piece of shit? How do we know? I mean, really.
Piece of shit, Scott.
Piece of shit, Scott.
So then we get to the point where we split crews, right? So here's how the split goes. I get the piece of shit truck with no AC that's falling apart that nobody wants, right?
We're gonna fast forward a little bit. The truth is when they know they could take advantage of you.
Yeah, companies will.
They will.
100%.
I had a best friend of mine. This is the truth. I'm sure the whole family sucks. We learned this, okay? But what happens is when they know, and I've been this person. I'm going to use one of my best friends as an example. He's gotten a lot better now, but this is something he struggled with. And we were talking one day. We worked at the same restaurant at one point, and he was like, "Dude, every job I get, they treat me like shit, and I have no respect."
But that's every job, yo. Like everywhere, any place you go to work, I don't care if it's McDonald's, I don't care if you work for Amazon or some big corporation, man. They don't give a fuck about you. They never have, they never will. They don't care about you, your kids, your safety, your welfare. They don't give a shit. The only thing they care about is making money, and you're expendable because they can replace you. There's other people that are looking for your job.
Zero respect. And he's like, and he goes, how do I get people to respect me? And I said, this is going to sound really dumb, but you got to respect yourself. And he literally was like, everyone says that. And this is what I mean in case you're dealing with this. So when you start somewhere like this guy or my best friend or a lot of people, and you're working at a place, the moment they decide this is how they perceive you, it's basically a wrap. In other words, this dude right here, let's use him for instance, he should have just quit immediately.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been there for 15 years. Like, he just shouldn't have. 15 years as a roofer making $19 an hour. Are you fucking kidding me?
They were never going to respect him.
No.
And also, you got to respect yourself. For instance, me right now, right? I'm kind of dressed like shit. My hair is crazy. When people look at me, they perceive me a certain way. It doesn't matter if I hold myself. So how you dress, how you look, your appearance.
You want one of his old
does-
TVs? Yeah, he likes to collect old vintage shit. Yeah, he likes to collect them old TVs and old, just like antique stuff.
Doesn't matter, right? Like I clean up good. Even if I have crazy hair, I'm not going to just go to work looking like this because that's how people are going to treat me. And also, if you already allow, even if you're the nicest clean cut guy in the fucking world, like this dude here, shaved head, he's got the goatee,
Mr. Clean. Got the bald head. Mr. Clean. His hair looks like his kid picture. Yeah, this dude on the left, man, he's definitely got a head full of hair. He's fucking got more than I got.
the goatee down. He's dressed, he's a blue collar man. He looks the part, he's playing the part. The moment they know they could treat you like shit, pay you like shit, belittle you, and use and abuse you,
They'll do
it's
it.
never going to change. So once you leave that company, the next place you go, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. You've heard it 1,000 times. Nice
Yep.
guys finish last. It's the truth. So you have to learn how to say no.
That's why I said if you go into a job interview and they ask you, what do you think you're worth per hour? You gotta say 28, 25, 30. Because if you say 15, then they're gonna say 10. So don't sell yourself short, man.
I'm not doing that. Or you have to learn how to demand what you're worth off rip. And I think the younger generations coming up are actually doing that anyways. I mean, but there's always going to be this level of stuff going down. Let's see where he's finishing out. Hold on, let me pop in the comments before we finish here. Family businesses are great if you're a member of the family. If not, forget it. Yeah, that's just the
100%.
truth, dude. I've worked for
Yeah, you don't want to work for a family business, as bad as that is to say, because the family's only looking out for the family. I mean, straight up. Now, is that all family businesses? That's not going to be all of them, obviously, but most of them are going to be that way. Tyler says Stone, the cold Steve Johnson should have quit the roofing job sooner. For real.
2 family businesses. One was my own and one was another one. The other one I was never getting in. I was never going to move. Never. I lasted that like a month. The only reward for hard work is more work. I do the bare minimum at work now. Actually, one of the restaurants I worked at too, so 3 places was family owned. And you better believe the daughters, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
they could
daughters
do
had it
nothing.
made.
And yeah, if I own the restaurant too, my daughters could come in here and make the most too and do nothing. So I do get that. All right. Growing up poor, the fear of not having enough has always lingered in the back of my mind, shaping my perspective of work and life. So when I landed in my
He
first
looks like a
job, I poured my heart
combination
and
of
soul in
Stone
it,
Cold
so
Steve
eager to
Austin
prove
and The
myself.
Rock.
Looking back, it's
I
clear
get- yeah, he kinda
that this
does.
dedication sometimes made me an easier target for complacent managers. Yeah, 1,000%. Especially if you're always like, yes, 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 I'll do this, and overly
Right.
nice, never saying no, never being like, hey, I didn't sign up for that. And it's okay to say those things at a job. Like, sometimes that's their job, and they're going to see if you will do it. It's some tricky shit, man.
Dad working there. So their dad, Larry, this guy's a piece of shit. He's almost worse than they are.
Everybody there's a piece of shit, man. What's the name of this family company? We need to know. So this way nobody works there. Everybody there's a piece of shit, according to this guy.
Larry. Oh, man. No. We're going to keep going forward.
I've been treated like shit my whole life. Starting with, my dad always yelling and screaming at me, whooping my ass. So as a man, I've been treated like shit my whole life. So that's pretty much just what I expect, and I'm used to it. So that's probably another reason I just thugged it out and stuck around at this piece of shit roofing company. My whole point of all this is if someone doesn't appreciate you, an employer, fucking leave them. Fuck them.
Exactly. Fuck them. Get the fuck out of there. And don't give them a 2 weeks notice, because like I said earlier, when they fire you, they don't give you a no notice. They don't give you a week notice. They don't give you shit. So yeah, if you're gonna leave a job, man, just fucking leave. Don't give them no notice. They're like, oh, if you're gonna leave, you gotta leave a 2 week notice. Okay, well, where's their 2 week notice when they fire your ass?
That's what I did. I was so happy when I left. Man, they were struggling. They hired 3 guys to replace me. And then as soon as I left, you saw the trickle. Everyone started leaving, right? Because I was doing fucking everything at this piece of shit place.
It's crazy how they'd rather 3 guys that are underpaid so they could kind of... It's funny how that works, because when you're paid a little bit...
And see, even the corporations ain't gonna do you no good either. because you work at a like I do repairs for a store that's got like it's a corporation. They do like I don't even know if I want to name their name on the internet, but they got a bunch of stores in my area. And what they like to do, I feel sorry for all the managers they've ever had because what they like to do is they'll they'll promote these people to managers. They'll let them stay for about 10 years and they'll give them raises and then they'll cap out. Like they'll cap to where they can't get no more raises. So then once they cap out those so that they don't have to keep paying that person that amount of money, they lay them off and then they just promote somebody else into manager position. Start them at the bottom. Do the same thing to that person. Once they cap out, fire them. And they just keep doing that shit.
There's more control when someone's paid less than when they're paid more. It's a weird gap. It
Yep.
just is. Anybody watching this who's ever bounced over like hourly doesn't even matter anymore. Like you're no longer working for a time, you're working for the actual job. It's no longer by the hour. If you ever cross that line, and I'm sure some of you have, I've done this beyond YouTube. I've booked my own jobs for carpet cleaning and tile stuff back in the day. I've done things where I'm no longer working for hourly. The moment you go past that, it's almost as if they lose the control over you. It's so strange how that works because you're no longer working for the person. You're working with them, and it's kind of hard. You have to have this weird balance where now we're peers. So there is that weird power.
Let's be honest, except for like a handful of people, most people fucking hate their jobs. Most people only have their jobs because they have to have it to survive. They got bills to pay, they got a mortgage, they got, they got their electric, they got all kinds of shit. That's the only reason they have a job anymore. Most people would not have jobs if they didn't have to. Now, some people got lucky and they fell into a job that they love, but that's not going to be everybody.
Dynamic. It's very fucking strange. It's very weird. Well, I guess that's where it says 15 years a slave. Okay, there we go. Slavery. There it is.
Yep.
I figured it out.
And if any of you guys from the Roof and Place might be watching this, fuck you.
Piece of
Do
shit.
something.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them people.
all the men out there, or even women, if you're not appreciated, whether it's a work relationship, an actual relationship with someone, leave their ass. If they don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. And don't stick around. Like, if you've been in a place 10, 12 years and you still haven't gotten nowhere, leave. I love where I'm at now. I'm working in the HVAC now. We getting company stock, man. I'm getting through money, baby.
I agree with them. Even if
Yeah.
you've been somewhere, you'll know.
Good for this dude. Good for this guy, man. Especially having to put up with 15 years of that shit.
In the first 6 months to a year, you should have a pretty good grip. Your gut will tell you this ain't going to work out. Listen to that.
Mhm.
Listen to that. Because this dude could have had what he's talking about now, getting paid what he's worth and actually being valued for what he's actually worth a long time ago.
That is like the guy made a video about the video we were watching. Yeah, we're like a fourth person, a fourth person viewer.
So, hey, I mess with this guy. I'll leave the link to him down below. Give him some love, but let's check this comments out. But that's the truth. That's the truth. Usually, you'll know immediately. Like I said, I've quit jobs in 3 hours. I went to one place. I remember, this is kind of petty, but I worked at
I did 4 hours warehouse. 4 hours in. I said thanks, but no
ice
thanks.
skating rink one time when I was really young. I spent all day ice skating. I was the guy picking people who fell up off the ground because I ice skate pretty well. Play a little pickup hockey up north. So I worked the whole day at this joint, and you weren't allowed to take a break. And I was out there for 8 hours on the ice. I was over it. And I literally said, fuck this. I'm never coming back. And I literally never
Damn.
went back. I didn't even pick up my check ever till this day. It's been 20 years. Never even picked up my check because I didn't want to see any of those people again. especially when I was like, hey, they're going to take a break to this one guy who wasn't much older than me. And he was like, no, we don't take breaks here. It's like, what? So I just ice skate for 8 hours straight? That's what you're telling me. I was like, no way. I
Yeah,
know it's a
fuck
petty
that.
job.
Yeah, 8 hours skating, man, your legs are gonna get tired, yo. I mean, your legs are gonna be like jello.
I'm just saying that's how petty I am. I don't even want your fucking money. Keep it. I don't even want to talk to you again.
Looked up the
All
guy
right.
that worked for the pieces and shit on
All
YouTube.
right. I never believe in job loyalty. I had people criticize me for leaving a job at the drop of a hat for something they believe was minor. But I don't care. If I don't like it anymore, I'm leaving for another better opportunity. There's many jobs to apply to. It's never that deep to prove your worth for a company. 1000%, man. You're going to know.
Yeah, because they'll fire
They're
you.
either
The
going to
micro.
value you or they're not. That's the truth. That's like any job. And there's plenty of good places to work. I've worked for great people. I really have. Like immediately I knew. Just the first encounter with the person. Obviously some people bullshit you, but generally you're going to know. You're going to know in that
Yep.
first week, really. First day for some of us.
Maybe myself since
I
he's
was a
not working for
valuable
the roofing
employee
company
that was
anymore.
mistreated
Yeah,
by many
100%.
employers. Every time I got a new job, I tried my best to do it
I might go over there and do the same thing.
at our busiest time. So just when I left, my employer knew how. Oh, so when he left at their busiest time. Yeah, good for them. Good for you. It takes balls to post a video like this. Many people get stuck in a dead end job at a toxic place and get comfortable. Sadly, it's common, and people waste valuable time at those terrible jobs. I was a victim to similar.
But see, the thing is people stay at their jobs though because it, they don't stay there because they want to. They stay there because they have to. And this becomes even more of an issue when you've got kids involved. Like if you're married and you got kids, like your options are very limited. See, now like when you're single, if you're in a job, you don't like it, you can quit. You don't have mouths to feed. You don't have a wife to worry about. You don't have kids to worry about. But once you get married, you got kids, it gets harder to leave that job because you can't go like a month or 2 months without getting paid. You just can't.
Circumstances. But as an HR professional, no one is immune. I'll leave the link to him down below.
Dang, that was good, y'all. We're gonna switch gears a little bit now. We're gonna check out Lookmaxing. What is this bullshit? Does anybody know what Lookmaxing is supposed to be? Like, I have never heard of this bullshit. But something tells me it's gonna be something weird.
Has redefined the meaning of self-improvement.
I maximize all metrics of my life. I've just come to the conclusion, based on anecdotes, based on numbers, that looks are the most important metric, and it would be insane to not prioritize them.
He began injecting testosterone at just 14 years old, claiming
What? Injecting testosterone at 14 years old. Dude, please don't tell me this is gonna be like another one of those people that like is so insecure about the way they look that they're doing so much plastic surgery that they end up looking like a fucking lizard or alligator.
that natural puberty wasn't optimized for the modern world.
I started with 300 milligrams of testosterone, and I did that for a while, up until I was 16. I'm 100% confident that I made the right decision in my life, and I'm so glad that I look a little bit more mature.
Today at 19, he's garnered a massive audience online, where he says that
Dang.
everything in life is determined by one thing.
So it's $35,000 for a double jaw surgery with full facial implants.
Wait a minute, wait, whoa, time out. He spent $35,000 for double jaw surgery and he probably didn't even have anything wrong with his jaw. What the fuck?
I know the amount of money that I'm investing will pay itself off to a huge degree.
In this episode, we'll dive into the psychology of human attraction, explore his philosophies on genetic determinism, and unveil the extreme measures some men take to maximize their looks. What drugs do you
Yeah,
take
how
every
did he
day?
get
I'm taking
35K?
testosterone every single day. Take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal for hollow cheeks. I'm not a huge longevity
He uses. What the fuck? He uses crystal meth for hollow cheeks. Like, would you ever be so insecure about your cheeks that you'd go start smoking meth? The fuck is wrong with this dude?
guy.
Clavicular. Welcome to the Jack Neal podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Clavicular.
Take me back to 14-year-old Braden. What was the exact moment you decided that natural puberty wasn't enough?
Well, I have always had the mentality that if something is going to get you to your goals quicker, then why not go for it, right? So when I was a kid, obviously I wasn't the most well-versed in pharmacology, so I didn't exactly know what.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that he probably had that jaw surgery he was talking about. Because if you watch when he talks, he looks like his jaw's not quite opening all the way when he's talking.
I was doing, but I knew that it would help me get to the place I wanted to be at a lot more efficient rate. So, skipping out on that just seemed ridiculous. I thought, why would I work out as a natural, take years to make the progress that I can make in months? It didn't make sense to me at all. I was never worried about side effects. I was just worried about progressing, right? So that's kind of always been my mentality. I'm all or nothing with everything that I do. And I just
Yeah, I
needed
don't
to
even
do
think
it,
I'd be smoking it for
Was there a
fun,
specific
dude.
moment that you remember where you were like, yeah, I'm just going to hop on testosterone, like when you're 14?
Just really taking a look at what was possible in terms of time frame. I wanted to get to my goals as quickly as possible, right? Because I always thought the idea of telling people you work out and talking about all this stuff, but you're not big, to be just kind of ridiculous. It's like, dude, what are you actually getting after? So I was like,
Yeah, that's kind of like when you have a doctor that's trying to tell you you need to lose weight, but the doctor's fat as fuck. Like I've never understood like some hypocritical bullshit. Like it's fucking crazy. Have your doctor be overweight and he's like, "Hey, you need to lose 50 pounds." Like, bitch, you need to lose 100. What the fuck you talking about?
I'm going to get my physique going as quickly as possible. I do not care about side effects. I don't care about any implications of, this guy's using drugs. Like, none of that shit really fazed me. So I just wanted to, get to my
Hey, what's
goals
up, guys?
as efficiently as
What's
possible.
up, Burge? Christy?
So your
Appreciate y'all
mom,
coming in.
she competed as a bodybuilder, and your dad lifts, works out. How did your parents react when you told them that you wanted to start taking tests?
Well, for a while, my parents would, go through my room and find steroids, often confiscate them. So that'd be a bit of a burden because sometimes I'd have to go like a few weeks without injecting.
I don't know if y'all were here or not, but this dude apparently there's a new thing called Lookmaxing, and this dude is like doing crazy shit. Like he had $35,000 for jaw surgery, and he's smoking crystal meth because he wanted hollow cheeks. It's so fucked up. And he started taking testosterone at 14 years old.
Testosterone, well, they confiscated it. So it was hard at first, but eventually they started to realize that there was nothing that they could do about it. I was always going to do whatever it takes. So, once I had that realization, it got a little bit easier for everyone because, they stopped confiscating it and kind of just chose to plead ignorance on everything I was doing in terms of my pharmaceuticals. So that was kind of a tough
paid
thing to deal with
$35K
at
for the
first, but
surgery.
it got easier over the years.
So you were a freshman at the time?
Correct.
So
Burge is like, case closed. We're done. He's like, I don't need to watch it anymore. He's fucking retarded. He's mental.
freshman in high school, were you playing any sports? Were you looking at any of your friends that had better physiques than you? Were you kind of looking at your parents' physique? Did they take testosterone? Like, what kind of really led to the decision ultimately, you think?
That's a good question. I wouldn't even say it was influenced by anyone else. It was a purely logical decision, in terms of looking at, mechanisms of action and things of this nature.
It was a purely logical decision, guys. I don't know how logical that is to smoke meth and do steroids. Maybe we've been doing it all wrong, guys. Yeah, he said logical.
Or like, if I could, increase this growth pathway by this means, then I'm absolutely going to do it. I didn't really see people like David Layden and think, oh, I want to be like this guy. I'm just like, if this makes sense mechanistically, then I'm going to do it. Like I'm a hyper logical guy. And I don't really get influenced by other people.
Did you read about it online? Like, how did you find like how much tests you should take? Where did you buy it at that age?
So I spent a lot of time on bodybuilding forums growing up, like bodybuilding.com, things like this. And I did a fair bit of research. Obviously, I was, not doing enough research at the time. There's things that I messed up. But just going on forums was pretty much the main thing that got
No, I don't think he did enough research at all. If he even researched it. And who the hell's giving this kid, who was giving him steroids at 14 years old to begin with? He already said his parents were taking it from him. Where was he getting this shit from?
me into it at the start. I relied on a lot of popular resources like, Derek More Plates, More Dates, to kind of accumulate the knowledge required for me to be able to take a jump into this whole world of, pharmaceuticals and steroids. So that took a little while for me to kind of nail things down. But I would say that I kind of just got lucky at the start with me doing things the right way, right? Because looking back, I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I just happened to get it right,
So how
You're
much
right,
did you
Tyler.
take?
I started with 300 milligrams of testosterone, and I did that for a while, up until I was 16. And then I experimented with a couple of orals. And finally, when I was
Oh no. What kind of orals are we talking about? What kind of what kind of orals are we talking about that he experimented with? I don't even know if I want to know. So basically, he just used the internet. Okay, he can be my doctor. No, I wouldn't want him to be my doctor. Him come in and be like, "Here, smoke this meth. It'll make you lose 100 pounds."
17, I began to use Masteron as well, which is a DHT derivative, because I started learning a little bit about puberty maxing. I would say that 16 and 17 is where I really started to kind of correct myself. And
Oh, so now we're not only talking about just look maxing. We're also talking about I can't even fucking say it. Puberty maxing. You believe this shit?
get things going in the right way with, different growth hormone secretagogues and mechanisms that otherwise wouldn't have been optimized. So I started using things like aromatase inhibitors, because estrogen, a lot of people don't know, men have estrogen. It's required, for a lot of things like sexual function, but it could
Wait a minute. Wait, wait a minute. Time out. Do we have estrogen really? Because as far as I know, dudes don't have estrogen. Maybe in his world. Maybe in his world, he's got a little. I think he has a little estrogen in him. Where did where did he get all this money oral stuff? Yeah, I think he was on his. He might have been on his hands and knees. That's how he got that 35K.
also cause your growth, plates to close prematurely. So what I did was I took something called an aromatase inhibitor, which prevents the conversion of testosterone into aromasin.
By
That
the
way I would be able
dumpster.
to grow for an extended period of time, right? So things like that, I didn't pick up on until I was a little bit older. So I just started off with the steroids and the basic stuff. And then I got into like really optimizing every single mechanism possible at around 16 or 17. That's where the Masteron came in, because with it being a DHT derivative, that was going to help with obviously some penile growth, and a little bit of mass.
It's gonna help with penile growth. Hey guys, this gonna help with penile growth. Oh shit. This is crazy. And the thing is this dude is believing all this stuff.
Masculinization. So
He
that
actually
was
believes this
something
shit.
that was used at the right time. After you turn 18 and your penis stops developing, there's no reason to use DHT derivatives. But I kind of use it at the perfect time.
So how much extra
But how does he know he used it at the perfect time? Oh my gosh. What did he go from like 4 inches to 5?
growth would you say you had on like just your height alone?
I would speculate that about 1.5 inches of my height would be attributed to the things that I did, because while my dad is 6'1", my mom is only 5'4". So I would assume that I would probably be a little bit shorter than I am, by about 1.5 inches, but it really is hard to say.
So you say you're very logical
This is
about
crazy.
your looks and the different types of drugs you experiment with, but a lot of people will think there's something deeply emotional about a teenager deciding that puberty isn't enough. Do you think there was any pain you were trying to solve?
I really don't think so. And that's going to be something that a lot of people aren't going to believe me on. but that's just not my personality at all, right? In terms of insecurity, it's just not something I've really ever experienced. Like,
No, there's got to be a level of insecurity there. There has to be. Somebody that's taking testosterone that early, taking meth to get hollow cheeks, and doing crazy shit and getting jaw surgery. No, you got to be a little bit insecure. If you wasn't insecure, you wouldn't be doing all that bullshit.
I've been hyper aware that, over the course of development, there were some points in my life where I really was like very, suboptimal in terms of my aesthetics, but I was like okay with that because I knew that there was things that I could do and I knew that the measures would be extreme. But I was like, well, this is kind of what it takes, and I was always someone who's willing to do whatever it takes.
So would you say it made you more confident after you did do these things?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's for the best because you get to experience life on the other side, right? These Looksmax
Life on the other side. What other side's he talking about?
creators, we're all genetically gifted. They don't really understand, how it is to grow up not exactly good looking. So it never made me insecure.
But see, this is the problem. When you got people like this, like I'm sure before he did the surgeries, he wasn't a bad looking dude. Like, I'm sure he wasn't a bad looking dude. But see, these are the people that end up fucking up themselves, doing too much plastic surgery, doing too many surgeries in general. And then before it's over with, he's going to look like a freak.
I never really had my life altered in any way. I just knew that something needed to change.
Quote, people say I look older than 19. I'd rather look like a man at 19 than a boy at 25.
Absolutely.
If you could go back in time, would you still take test at 14 years old?
Absolutely, yeah. So everything I did, no regrets, right? So I'm 100% confident that I made the right decision in my life. And I'm so glad that I look.
But see, the problem is if you don't stop now, he is going to have something that he regrets. He's going to do one surgery that's going to fuck him up and he'll regret it. But to see, by that time, though, it's going to be too late.
A little bit more.
Tyler's like, we can't even see his whole face. Oh, my bad. He was zoomed in.
Mature, than I actually am in terms of my age, because it's helped me a lot. We could talk about, some of the jobs that I've worked and the respect that I've gained from just.
Well, we know what jobs he was working. We know what kind of jobs he was working under the desk, on his hands and knees. This will be the first white Michael Jackson. Well, here's the question, though. So Michael Jackson used to be black, and then he wound up white. What if he's white and he ends up black?
Having a little bit more presence in my life from, some of the pharmaceuticals I've taken, literally the best thing that anyone could do.
Yeah, guys, for reference, I'm 24 years old and Clav is a full 5 years younger than me. When I met you, I thought you were at least 23. What's like the scientific reason that you look older?
So it has to do with your androgen receptors, right? So obviously if we're, having super physiological amounts of testosterone at a young age, our androgen receptors are going to be hit by that. And, we're just going to.
Our androgen receptors. Androgen receptors. Yeah, meth. Exactly.
Masculinize our face a little bit more. I've also used things like HGH. So just all these different growth pathways being elevated led to, me looking a little bit older.
There you go. That's a good point, Burge. That's a good point. Him taking all this testosterone and doing all this shit, he ain't got no facial hair. Are you sure is he sure he's not just transitioning to a female?
Okay. So when most people discover that they're not naturally gifted, they typically work harder, they train more. If they don't have any money, they start working longer hours, try to start a business. But you decided to rewrite your biology. Correct. Why do you value results over effort?
It's a good question. Because
Hey,
it's
what's up,
what people
ANAC
see,
on
right? It's the
YouTube?
first thing that someone is going to lay eyes on. They're not going to know how you got to your goal. They're just going to know whether you're there or not, right? So first impressions are all that matter. When you tell people you're on steroids, after they see your physique and it's already, conceived in their head that it's impressive, It's not really going to change the perception. That's what I've learned. So it's all about, the external appearance,
Do you value hard work at all?
No, absolutely not. I value efficient work. I value smart
Ooh.
work, hard work.
He don't value hard work, y'all. He's taking the easy way. Instead of building his body up naturally, he's taking the easy way. Surgeries. Are you kidding me? Nope. No. That's fucking crazy.
Work is a ridiculous concept.
Why do you think so many people value the concept of working hard? Do you think it's ultimately because those people tend to have results?
I think people value hard work because you learn a lot on your journey, right? So in terms of fitness, if you're working out for 5 years, you're gonna, acquire a lot of knowledge in those times. Maybe you're gonna make a lot of mistakes and you could look back on those and realize, hey, I was f***ing this up. And now when you're at the place of, you know a lot about fitness, you know a lot about training. It's kind of a cool process to undergo, looking at your transformation over the years.
But isn't that kind of like cheating, though? This ex-human is a complete waste. Isn't that kind of like cheating, though? I mean, that would be like me saying, okay, that would be like me having hamburger meat, right? And saying, okay, you know what? I don't want to have to go out and turn the grill on, cook the hamburger. I'm just going to go down to McDonald's and get me a burger. That would be like the same thing. Like he's saying, I don't want to do the work. So I'm going to go on steroids, accelerate the process. No facial hair or chest hair. Exactly. It's crazy.
That's not something that's ever interested me. So I would say that that's probably why people value hard work. It's just, the journey.
Yeah, so many people value the journey because of the person they become on the other side. Do you think there's like anything that you're missing?
Yeah, but is he going to like the person he becomes on the other side? I don't know, man. He keeps it up. He's going to look in the mirror one day and he's going to be like, what the fuck did I do?
From not having to work as hard necessarily to like achieve the results you had in the gym? Or do you think that it's allowed you to achieve the knowledge faster and like the character traits of someone who works out faster?
I would say that it's definitely made me like the gym less, to be enhanced. Like, because as a natural, it is really fun to see your transformation over years. And
See, so he don't even like the gym. He's like, yeah, I don't like the gym, so I went to steroids. Night Sir John, what's up, man?
it makes it so much more rewarding when it takes a lot longer to, have this good physique and know what it took to get there. It means a lot more to you, especially when you continue to work out, continue to progress. It is really meaningful. So I don't have that, but I'm not necessarily concerned about that. I personally hate going to the gym now. I find it.
Hey, I'm with him on that. I don't like going to the gym either. Fuck the gym. I don't like working out if I ain't got to. Shit, maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I don't know.
Kind of shitty to start the day, have to go to the gym. I think of it as a chore at this point because I'm just like so done with it.
But let's be realistic. Nobody really likes to work out. Like, nobody. I would go to the gym if I could. If you could. Why can't you go to the gym, Tyler?
You know what I mean? Because I know I could progress at a lot higher levels if I start taking like an oral steroid, for example, for 3 months. And then the 3 months is done and I know I'm progressing, at a limited rate. So it just like kind of ruins the whole novelty. But when you're a natty, everything is kind of just consistent. So
When you're a natty? What the fuck is a natty? I thought a natty was like alcohol, was a beer. The hell's a natty?
you're always going to value, you think every single day you're progressing, where that might not be true when you're using steroids.
Like if there was a pill you could take that would make you as smart as possible, already learn everything, be as jacked as possible, look perfect, like would you take that?
Absolutely.
And then what else would you do past that?
Would you guys take it? Everybody in chat, if they had that pill, would you take it? I don't think I would.
Well, I would be at my goal and I'd have to reevaluate
Yeah,
my
balloon
life,
boy.
see what I wanted to do next because right now, this is the journey part for me, So I'm not interested in just some lame, like, fitness journey where I'm natural. The journey is a lot more, interesting in my case, right? So, because I'm trying to optimize every single metric of my life. I'm not only interested in fitness, right? I am trying to IQ max. I'm trying to money max.
He's trying to IQ max. He's trying to IQ max, money max, look max. I think he's failing on the IQ part.
Like all these different things. Obviously, for the normies watching this, I say max at the end of everything, maximize, just for that clarification. But yeah, so I'm just trying to do so much more than the average person that I kind of have to cheat my way and cheat the system a little bit to be able to manage all these different things.
Okay, well, at least he admitted it. He's cheating. At least he admits it.
Kareem Shami on our other podcast, his last piece of advice that he wanted to leave the viewers was none of this matters if you don't have health, and health is the most important thing. Why don't you, or do you prioritize health?
I would say no. I think I would wholeheartedly disagree with that statement.
Okay, this guy's IQ is gone. His IQ is it's he has no IQ. It's zero. Do you prioritize health? No. Did he just call me a normie? Yeah. We're all normal, Burge.
I would say that functionality is a
According to this dude, he's far superior than all of us.
better word than health, right? Because it is very likely that some of my lifespan will be diminished with the things that I'm doing. I don't believe that's from some of the steroids, but maybe some of the recreational drugs in conjunction with the steroids. So that's a very real possibility. But in terms of like functional health, I'm fantastic, right? I'm always very sharp. So there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, he's very sharp. Nothing wrong. Sure.
In terms of that, in terms of the way I feel every day. So that's kind of all I'm concerned about.
So you don't care about maximizing your lifespan as much as your day to day.
Yeah, I'm not a huge longevity guy.
What? What the fuck is wrong with this dude? He's like, I'd rather use steroids and drugs and plastic surgeries to get what I want now, and I don't care if I live long. Most people I know want to live as long as they can, except for me. I'm on the 65 and out plan. I'm not trying to go past 65. But most people are trying to live longer if they can.
Do you think you'll ever stop taking steroids?
No, absolutely not. I think how much in terms of dosing, that will definitely start to lower as I get a little bit older. Because once you get to a certain point, maintaining what you've built is a lot easier than getting to a certain goal, right? So I'll have to lower down to TRT dosages. You want to start having kids and stuff like that. The dose has to come down. You can't take certain steroids, things of this nature. So absolutely, yeah. Once I'm very satisfied with where I am in terms of my physique, I'll just start to maintain it.
So you call yourself very reasonable about what's accomplishable. Why are you spending $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about
Did y'all just hear what I heard? He's gonna spend $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6". What the fuck is wrong with 6'2"? I think he would be sterile at this point. Yeah, right. Yeah, he probably ain't gonna have no kids. But he's gonna go from 6'2" to 6'6". 100 grand.
just presence, right? I've always valued
Like, how do you get height lifting? What does that surgery look like? Do they just put like, I don't know, like metal rods or something in there to extend you?
presence super, super highly, right? You walk into a room, people notice, right? You're standing in the middle of a club, you're an outlier, right? That to me, just because people will come up to me, they'll say, "Oh, well, 6'2", that's already very tall." But in terms of percentiles,
Yeah, 6'2". I'm 6'1". Like, I'm perfectly happy. Like, I'm taller than most people at 6'1". I don't need to be 6'6". So 100K for a surgery so I can go from 5'9" to 6'3". Yeah, that's well, fuck it, dude. If you're gonna spend 100K, why not just go for 9 foot? I mean, if you're gonna do it, might as well go all out.
It's only 91st percentile, right? 6'6", we get to 99th. I'm someone
Yeah, what if he goes in for the surgery and they give him the wrong surgery, like Bird said? What if he comes out and then he has like no legs? I'd like to be taller. I guess I will wear Kiss platform shoes. Yeah, I'm not spending 100K. Man, I'll walk around in Kiss platform shoes like a fruitcake before I spend 100 grand.
who wants to be the best, right? And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. So that's why, I'm seriously considering that limb lengthening surgery.
So you want to be 99th percentile at all aspects of life,
Absolutely.
except maybe longevity.
Yeah, maybe not longevity.
So
Hey.
explain to me the limb lengthening surgery. I didn't know that
Can you imagine what this dude's gonna look like when he hits 40? It'll be interesting if he even lives that long.
you could do that. How do you do that? And like,
This
what are the
alien's
negatives
just looking
involved?
for attention.
So, there's a lot of different clinics that do limb lengthening surgery, and there's different techniques used, but the best is actually Dr. Paley in West Palm Beach, so maybe about 30 minutes away from where I'm living now. So that's a very real possibility. The unfortunate part about limb lengthening surgery is almost no one is going to be able to do it because you're going to have to be out of work for 6 months to a year, right? You're going to be hospitalized for the first 3 weeks. You're pretty much immobile for the first 3 months, and the next 3 months after that,
Are you kidding me? If I'm gonna spend 100 grand to have my legs extended and I can't use them for a year, I don't think so.
you're really not going to be able to walk without crutches and stuff like that. So getting away from work for that long is just not possible by most people, and not to mention the outrageous prices, right? So unless you're kind of, making online money, it's just not
Palm Beach is in Florida, Tyler. It's kind of like in between. It's close to Miami.
something to even consider.
And then how does it work exactly? Like, where does it go? Like, is it just your legs? Like,
Yeah, so they're going to lengthen both the limbs, right? So they could do your femurs, and they could add to the lower legs as well. That's called a double LL. And then you have to wear
Yeah, double LL, a double loss. That's exactly what it's called. Double LL.
distractors that slowly help the bone, fuse back together and heal. So it's a very treacherous process. It's very painful. You have to be under close supervision with doctors, and you really have to gauge the value. Is this something that's worth it to you? Because it's a horrible process, and there's no beating around the bush on that.
so you see it as reasonable because it would put you in the 99th percentile. But my issue with that is like, is 99th percentile optimal always? Because I guess maybe if you're 99th percentile,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Bird says he's got a OnlyFans page. Oh no. They got dudes on there too. I didn't know dudes had OnlyFans pages too. I thought that was for females. Oh man. Maybe he's not really a dude. Maybe this is a female in disguise.
of being fat or 99th percentile of having a high IQ, you might get diminishing returns. Like, how do you kind of view that?
I don't really think everyone knows that being fat is a negative thing, so I don't really think it's accurate to make that comparison. We know it's good. We know tall is good, and we could back that up with research, right? We know that every single inch, you grow.
No, not necessarily. Tall's not always good. Look what happened to Andre the Giant. He's fucking huge. And he died early.
Grow past 6 foot, you're adding like an additional $500 to your average annual income in America. So we know that taller is better. We know that fat is worse. These are things we could back up with research, and they're absolute. So I think it's very
Smoking meth is bad too, dude. We could back that up with research too.
reasonable knowing these disparities, knowing things about dating app statistics and how women are literally just filtering out people completely under outrageous height percentiles, right? We'll see women put their height filters on 6'3", and then you actually look at percentiles, and we're like, You just eliminated 95 percentiles worth of men right off the bat with one filter and one metric. So while it might be outrageous at first thought, if we look at actually what's going on in the world, you start to find it quite reasonable for the time.
Oh, Tyler, really? The Island Boys kiss each other on OnlyFans? Oh my gosh. I've never made more money because I'm tall. Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to impress the females, is what it sounds like, but no, man, they just have to like me the way I am. Fuck all that. I'm not smoking meth and changing my height.
Why doesn't everyone do this? Just because of the money?
I just don't really think that people are logical. I think that people want to live in fantasy land. That's the blue pill, So they prefer.
Hey, hey guys, did you hear what he said? We're all living in fantasy land. We're living in fantasy land. Okay.
To cope. They prefer not to know these things, but just someone with my brain chemistry, someone who's a little bit neurodivergent, it's just kind of unavoidable, right? I can't live in fantasy land. It's not possible for me.
So it seems like you shifted.
So we're living in fantasy land, y'all. Like I guess I need to go start smoking meth and go get me some steroids, man. I've been doing this all wrong, y'all. Why didn't anybody tell me this sooner?
From bodybuilding to looks maxing. Obviously, you still do both, but why do you believe that face matters more than your physique?
So I started coming to that realization when I started doing massive, what's called a bulk, where you eat in a caloric surplus for the gym. And I noticed that, my treatment in my daily life from when I was a little bit leaner, just starting out in the gym, just getting a little toned, I was actually getting treated worse, even though I was getting more muscle. I was a lot bigger. And I was like, hey, what's going on?
Sorry, Tyler. But when you said that, when you said, what if Bergie has an OnlyFans? The first thing I was thinking is I can see Burge on OnlyFans with the birds. Oh no. I'm sorry, Burge. No, don't don't do that. No.
So then that's kind of where I started reading on bodybuilding.com some things about how, people would come on and shit post and troll about how the face is all that matters. And, that bodybuilding and physique, it was cope. And I was like, hey, this doesn't really make sense. And the more that I thought about it, it kind of started to make sense. Just thinking about it from a woman's perspective, realizing with my personal anecdotes, that the face is more important. And everything started to get worse as my face got more bloated, got more acne from doing the caloric surplus. So it was a combination of those two things that made me kind of reevaluate and change my course.
Wait, wait, no, no time out. No, Burge. Don't surprise us. Maybe Burge has had an OnlyFans all along. We just didn't know it. Maybe he's had. You just need to dig deep. Oh shit! You just need to dig deep. Oh my god! You guys are crazy.
Just a little bit.
So if you had to give me where you spend your time, like working on, would you say it's 30% effort on the physique, 70% on the face, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
And then how limited is the average person genetically? I guess we can speak about body versus face, but can they ascend, as the looks maxing community would put it, like go from like a 5 to a 7, if we're speaking like on a scale from 1 to 10, through natural methods, or do they need surgeries, medications, peptides?
So that's a really good question, and the answer isn't as simple as you think, right? So the average person.
Oh no, Tyler's a pimp. Tyler's a pimp. I do know some things about OnlyFans as I have done management for a few girls on OnlyFans. I didn't know you was a pimp, Tyler. Just filled up my gas for $2.19 per gallon. Damn, that's not bad. It's $2.59 here where I'm at.
Can make a lot of progress. It's just an IQ issue. That's the genetic issue that we're
Yeah, it's an IQ issue, all right. He's definitely got an IQ problem.
facing is IQ, because people aren't going to be logical enough. Like I said before, they want to live in fantasy land, so they're not going to do the things that are actually required to make the progress that
449, but yeah, I forgot you're over there on the West Coast. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but West Coast is fucked. Like California, like $7 a gallon for gas. I've helped girls hit top sellers in their areas on OnlyFans. Uh, I didn't know you was a pimp, Tyler.
that's needed. So it really comes down to that. But if someone is hyper logical, doing the things that I'm doing, they can probably
Hyper logical. Not only do you have to be logical, you got to be hyper logical, guys.
go up in look scale by 30 to 40 percentiles, I would say.
And then how about their physique?
Your physique, I mean, the sky's the limit with that. That's something that's, almost anyone could really hit a huge increase on.
Quick one. If you agree with Clav's message and you're serious,
Are you kidding me? This dude has lost his fucking mind.
very many people as knowledgeable as clavicular, so you guys are going to want to check this one out. But anyway, back to
Oh, yeah, and in case you guys didn't hear, they call him clavicular. That sounds like a girl's name, clavicular.
the podcast. So do you think, like, I don't know, you and I, with our frames now, if we took the right set of drugs, could be like bodybuilder level, like Mr. Olympia?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not possible. And that's a lot of people's, reason to not take steroids, because they don't want to look like Mr. Olympia guys. And it's like, that's just so ridiculous to me. You never will, even if you wanted to. That will never happen to you. I'm not the largest guy myself. I'd say I'm, reasonably big for, the amount of drug exposure I've had and how old I am. But no, you will never get to that point. You can't accidentally get big. And it's just so discrediting
Well, you can't get big if you're smoking meth. Like, you can't get big smoking meth anyways.
to people's genetics and their hard work to even suggest that that could be a possibility for you. It just really infuriates me to hear that talking point.
Clav, why are you getting a double jaw surgery?
I am getting a double jaw surgery due to the fact that I know the amount of money that I'm investing will pay itself off to a huge degree, right?
What if he gets his double jaw surgery and he comes out and he can't even talk anymore? Like, what if he can't even open his mouth? This is crazy. Why are you fixing something that's not broke? Like, his jaw's not broke. His jaw's working just fine. Why are you going to get this surgery?
So it's $35,000 for a double jaw surgery and with full facial implants. And I decided upon this before I did social media.
Well, that surprised the fuck out of me because I thought he already had the surgery because when you look at him talk now, he kind of looks like he isn't opening his mouth all the way. Well, there, well, there goes the oral income. Yup. Yep, he's gonna miss out on that money. Like, sorry, boss, I can't help you.
Back when I was working as a server. And I knew that if I was better looking, that would pay itself off in terms of whatever I did with my career. Because I knew that, your looks play into a role of, are you going to get hired, right? How people treat you, just in terms of how I was getting tipped, right? So all these different things. I was starting to notice a lot more about how looks played into your income. So it was, a money thing, right? So that's how it started out. And now that I got into the world of social media, I know that I will go, insanely more viral, and it'll help my career a lot to do the double jaw surgery.
I think he's gonna go viral, but not the type of viral that he's thinking.
It's not insecurity, right? There's nothing I can't do with my current looks package, right? I'm already having pretty much the life I want. It's just I know that, the return on investment is extremely high. And I think that's true for everyone.
So walk me
The return on investment is extremely high. So he's gonna spend $35,000 for jaw surgery, $100,000 to increase his height. I don't know if that. I don't know. No, I want my money back. Like, take the extensions out. Give me my original jaw. I want my money back.
Through, like, if we take a step back, like, when did you realize what that was? Kind of explain it to me. Explain what you'll have to go through and what the results could look like negatively.
Is I decided I wanted the double jaw surgery. So what I had to do is get a head CAT scan, right? So I had to go to an imaging center, they scan my skull, and then that gets sent to an implant designer, right? He comes in and he customizes the titanium implants based on my skull with
Oh my gosh. Why are you gonna get titanium put in you and you're not even broke? Like, I could understand if he had like broke his jaw and it was all fucked up, but there's nothing wrong with it. You know, if you go trying to fix shit that ain't broke, it's gonna end up broke permanently.
custom screws and guides. And that gets sent to a factory to be produced. Right now, all the titanium parts are being produced. My surgery is coming soon. And then now I'm going to have to fly to Istanbul. That's the location of my surgery. That's kind of like the hotspot in the world for plastic surgery. I would argue that Italian surgeons are better, but sometimes they won't do some of the more black-pilled extreme movements that a Turkish surgeon will, right? For example, they wouldn't do an implant under, your temporal muscle.
And he can't even get the surgery here. He's got to go to freaking Turkey. Does he have a black eye? I don't know. It looks like he's got rings around both his eyes.
Or they won't give you as extreme advancements in terms of millimeters. And sometimes they straight up won't even give surgery to people who are good looking. So that's kind of the downfall of Italy. So that's kind of why I had to go to Turkey. So I'm going to Istanbul to a maxillofacial surgeon who is going to place the implants that, Giant Implants, who's my implant designer, custom made.
And that's the only surgery you're
Dang.
getting, or are you getting a couple?
It's kind of like a few surgeries done at once, right? So the surgery is called a Bimax. It's a double jaw surgery, right? So they're going to make an osteotomy in the upper jaw, my maxilla, and advance
Turkey
it
is
forward,
good for
and the
hair
lower jaw.
implants.
It's called a BSSO, and advance both of the jaws forward. And on top of that, during the same process, during the same hospital stay, to save money, they also place the implants. So it's kind of just an all-in-one process. And I'll also be getting a rhinoplasty during the same thing.
So the
Oh
looks
my
maxing community
gosh.
kind of has its own rating system.
Damn, he's having all these surgeries on shit that ain't broke. This is nuts. This is crazy.
And then your average person has its own rating system, however variant it may be. I would guess
Yeah, before it's over with Tyler, he probably will have a vagina implant. It looks like he's turning that way. He does seem kind of feminine, don't he?
that you've asked women to rate you before, like just normally, right?
No.
No. Or like you've got a rating from a woman like on the street or something?
No.
No, nothing like that.
I mean, I've had women just, say it to me without me prompting them for it. I would just feel really weird saying, "Hey, can you rate me?" Like that just seems a little bit ridiculous. But I've heard women, say, the rating to me.
But you would say on average, you're probably like 8, 9, 10 from people like,
Okay, what would you guys rate him? What would you rate him? I give him. I'll be generous. I'll give him a 5. What would y'all rate him? 4, 3, 6. Okay.
if 100 women rated you, that would probably be accurate on the normal person scale.
Right.
And then what
2,
would that kind of
0.
be on the looks maxing scale? Because I think what most people look at you and think is this guy doesn't need to go from 6'2" to 6'6". You explain the reason for that. And then this guy doesn't need to change his face any because he already has like a really well above average face, if not already in the 99th percentile.
Well, what I want to say to that is extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures, right? And the extraordinary times are just how hypergamous women are nowadays, right? They're dating way above their looks level, way above their means. And the men who are not at
Okay, I'm kind of conflicted with that statement because I agree with what he's saying, but that's kind of hypocritical coming from his mouth. Oh my gosh.
The top percentiles are left with nothing, right? Because everyone's extremely sexually promiscuous, having tons of different sexual partners, but this is the top, right? And then everyone who's not close, they're like, what the
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's kind of the world that we're living in now. So I would say that, with how crazy shit is, I might not be the crazy one after all for the methods I'm talking about.
So do you think this will technically ascend you by like a full point, or do you think it's going to be?
Absolutely. I would say 1 to 2 points is definitely accurate.
Are you kidding me? We're going to spend almost 150,000 so we can get 1 to 2 points on our looks.
And then I guess I haven't really browsed the forums of the Looksmaxing community, but this is something that you were involved in like from a young age, right?
Correct.
So have you submitted a photo of yourself there and asked for a rating, or like have
Yeah.
you gotten ratings before? Like kind of give us an idea.
Yeah. So I've been rated what's called a high.
Tyler, I said this yesterday on my stream. I think we all have somebody in our past that we just regret even being with, and that we might even have slept with, and we just regret. I think everybody has at least one of those, male or female.
High tier normie is what a lot of people say. So the scale is low tier normie, mid tier normie, high tier normie, Chad.
What the what the hell? Chad Light. What the frig?
And Chad, right? So to quantify that is a little bit difficult to, kind of explain that to normal people, because normal people would assume that the average is a 7, right? Or this is what I always hear. Women will always tend to rate people that they find average, 50th percentile, as a 7, which is ridiculous, right? Because an average person would be a 5 on the look scale, right? So people are placing me high tier normie as a little bit above average, between a 6 to a 6.5 on an actual decile scale that makes sense.
No, I'd put him at, like I said, I'm being generous at a 5, but I agree with y'all. Probably 0, 2. I bet a lot of his partners have regrets. I bet they do too.
So that's kind of where I am, a 6 to a 6.5.
So you would say that surgery would,
You know what I wonder? Since he's getting all these titanium implants like in his jaw and shit, I wonder if he got a titanium implant down there too. Maybe he's rocking a titanium hole.
increase your score by 1, 2 points. But if the surgery went wrong, like if the surgery was botched, like what would happen? What's the worst case scenario?
The worst case scenario is an infection, right? So that would mean that I would have to get the implant removed, do a 3-month course of antibiotics, and get it replaced. So that's a botch, right? But in terms of not getting the aesthetic result desired, that's certainly a possibility that you're like, hey, like I don't exactly know if I like how I look. I look a little bit too masculine, too striking, things like that. But implants can certainly be removed, right? Revisions can be made. It's just a very daunting process because you're like, oh, wow, I just got the surgery. I'm done now.
How crazy would it be for him to get that surgery and then he goes and looks in the mirror? Like, wouldn't it be all fucked up if he, like, his mouth is like all twisted to the side and shit when he gets his jaw surgery? Like, he comes out, he's like all happy to get in front of the mirror, see what the new result is, and he gets in front, and his jaw's just like,
I'm ready to mog. I ascended. And they're like, shit, I really don't like this. I'm actually worse off now. I don't really think that that's a likelihood for me, but it certainly is a possibility, right? So I'm willing to acknowledge it. But revisions can be made, and I do have the resources to correct any errors if possible. So I'm not too worried about that. It certainly would suck if I had to get things revised, but I don't really think that that's a high likelihood.
And then when it comes to attraction, how would you differentiate what the average person thinks of attraction? Well, I can just answer
Or
this.
it's
It
on the
would probably
back of
be
his head,
things like
yeah.
symmetry, healthy hair, maybe like a tan, but what are all the factors considered in kind of your community?
So it's a huge numbers thing. It's really autistic, but everything is about numbers, right? And measurements. So that could be the measurement of your eyes based on,
Well, I mean, yeah, everything's been numbers and measurements, depending on what you're talking about. But apparently he's talking about something else.
the width of your zygos, and relativity. That could be your mid-face ratio, right?
Oh, that would be so fucked up, Tyler. If he walked in front of the mirror and he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see it," and his fucking jaw and mouth is up here on, he's like talking through his forehead. Oh my gosh, then he would look like an alien for sure.
So the distance from your eyes, to the outer part of your lips, and this is supposed to be 1-to-1, your mid-face. The facial width, right? The width of your jaw relative to the width of your cheekbones. There's just all these different numbers, and then it gets you what's called a harmony score, right? So you take all these different measurements, you do the math.
A harmony score? What? Where is he coming up with all this bullshit? What's a harmony score? And who the hell's measuring the distance between their eyes and their cheeks and their jawline? This dude is like obsessed with, I don't know, he's got to be insecure. Only an insecure person would be doing this kind of shit.
You check it out on your face, and then we're going to get a percentage harmony score. And that's kind of a good way to determine your looks, but there's also other factors that play into things like how dimorphic you are, like how masculine you look, and how angular you are, how lean you are.
Does he look masculine though? I mean, he looks kind of feminine to me. He's kind of acting feminine. Maybe that's the surgery he needs to get. Maybe he just needs to get like an implant of a vagina right here under his arm. Maybe that's what he needs to
And how
do
good your
next.
coloring is, right? If you have blue eyes, if you're tan, things like that. So there's a lot of different factors, and it's just something you kind of understand intrinsically once you've been in the community for a long time.
So who would you say is like an ideal looking guy? I think the term is true Adam or maybe Chad. Like,
Yeah.
who is like a guy who's pretty high up on this scale?
So in terms of the numbers thing, the closest person we get to perfection is Matt Bomer, right? From White Collar. You guys know Neil Caffrey, I'm sure most people have seen. So he gets to about a 94% harmony score, which I believe is the highest. So in terms of like pure numbers,
Well, harmony score. How do we determine the harmony score though? I'm gonna say I'm probably at like probably 1,000. Yeah, I'm at 1,000. Tyler's probably at I'd say he's probably about 900, and Christie's probably about the same. So I think we're all doing better on the harmony score than this dude.
he would be considered the true Adam, is a term I see a lot on TikTok. I find it a little ridiculous, but yeah, so he would be the closest it gets. But there are some people who argue that there's other people who are better looking, maybe because they're slightly more dimorphic, a little bit more striking, things like that, even if they have a lower harmony score.
So who came up with all
I'm
of
a
this?
0. My heart is
So
black.
this has been around for thousands of years, right? When we think of the mid-face ratio being 1-to-1, this is something that was made in ancient Greece, right? So these are not numbers that just autistic people on forums came up with 5 years ago.
Fergie's
This
at
is
2,000.
like really,
Yeah.
it's almost like the Fibonacci sequence.
I'll just say I think we're all, whatever the harmony score is, we're all probably much higher than where this dude's at.
It's the way that I think about it, right? Because it's something that we all subconsciously know to be true, and it was identified very early on in history.
So Clive, you say that looks are everything, but at one point you said you wouldn't leave your girlfriend at the time.
Are looks everything though? Are looks everything? I mean, yes and no. Looks help. I don't know if it's everything though.
Time for a model. Is that true?
Yeah, that was true.
So do you care about looks when it comes to dating? or maybe even your close relationships? And do you think it's the most important thing in your personal life?
Well, I care about my looks, and I think that my looks are very important to me. But in terms of just being happy with, my romantic life, I think that personality is a huge thing. So I think that those are two completely separate issues.
Well, I would feel sorry for whoever he ends up dating or even marries if he gets married, because they're probably going to have to go through a lot of scrutiny. Because if he's doing that to his own body, could you imagine what he'd be scrutinizing on his partner? And she'd be having to get like breast implants, lip injections, butt injections, all kinds of shit. The pile of dog shit down the street has a higher harmony score than him. Yeah, that's right.
So I absolutely stand by that.
Do you maybe see that as a bit contradictory, because the whole looks are the main thing that matters, is based on the fact that everyone else subconsciously thinks they matter, but you yourself don't even like place that as the most important thing?
I absolutely think it could be a little bit contradictory, but the thing is, I'm playing a game and trying to get a result, right? So I know that
Yeah, but this ain't a fucking game, dude. Like, you're playing with shit that could be permanent. Like, you could permanently fuck up your jaw or your face or your body. I wouldn't be calling it a game.
looks are going to help me maintain my relationship more, help whatever long-term partner I'm with, see a lot more value in me, actually be able to love me to a higher degree. So I know these things are true, but I don't really think that that's true for me, right? I think that if I'm attracted to someone, then I'm not really too worried about whether their mid-face ratio is 1-to-1, right? Yeah. It's just like if I'm able to be attracted to them, then I'm able to be attracted to them. But I know that
Okay, well, why can't he have that same mindset for himself? Like, hey, if they like me the way I am, then they like me the way I am. But if not, then who cares?
women are a little bit different, with hypergamy and all this stuff that we talked about, trying to date beyond their means. So I'm like, in the back of my mind, I know, that I kind of have to be a little bit more on top of my game than women do.
So do you think looks are the most important thing?
I'm beginning to think he must have either got dumped or he must not have been good with women or he got rejected a lot or something, because he wouldn't be going to this extreme just to impress women otherwise. This is crazy.
For women?
I would say so, absolutely, without a doubt.
Like for them to get men, like would you say that's the most important thing for women to focus on?
Absolutely, yeah, because right, the first impression is everything, and the first impression will always be looks. But I don't really think it's a good idea for me to say, I would leave my girlfriend in a second for a top tier model, right? Because obviously, if the two were standing next to each other, before I had been romantically involved with either, you're obviously going to go with the top tier model. But once you've actually built a connection and, some sort of long-term thing with someone and you actually start to love them, it's a little bit different, right? You're not just going to leave them in the blink of an eye, for someone who's a little bit better looking. That's just not really how it works. I don't really think that's how it works for women.
That's how it works for some people. I know some people are like that, man. Be together for 20 years and one day they wake up and they just decide they want somebody else, man.
Women too, who have optimal brain chemistry, but a lot of the women we see today would probably do that.
What does it mean to be low inhibition?
So being low inhibition is low anxiety, having a low amount of certain neurotransmitters that are linked to anxiety, and just being able to kind of do and say whatever you want without, spiking your cortisol, getting really anxious. Just being free is the best way to put it. That's always been me. I've really
At least he has some good in his heart. I don't know about that. We'll see how he feels about that after he gets all these surgeries.
never cared about anyone's opinion, never really cared about embarrassing myself, getting rejected, getting shot down. These are just not things that register in my brain, So it's genetic and it's different for everyone. Some people deal with horribly high inhibition and it's life ruining, but that's just never been me.
It's never been easier to start a
Never
podcast
been him, y'all.
than with Riverside. First, go to Riverside Dive.
Yeah, do you
Like, I don't know. That's kind of egotistical for him to sit there and say that, like anxiety doesn't affect him. Like, everybody has anxiety to some degree about something.
think alcohol is evil but necessary?
Absolutely. Yeah. Alcohol is the best way to block some of the neurotransmitters that are
Alcohol is evil, but it is necessary. Yeah, block the neurotransmitter. Yeah, just drink till you can't fucking black out and don't remember anything. He's going to look like Jake Tucker. I don't know who Jake Tucker is.
going to cause people to have anxiety. It's going to make you more sociable. It's going to make you more loose, more low inhib. But it's a temporary solution. That's why it's a huge problem. Because once you start to rely on alcohol for your social results, for getting women, when you're not drunk and when you're not intoxicated, your baseline state is still the same shitty version that it is. And that could lead to alcoholism. People are going to constantly start to drink, for daytime social events, right? To go to someone's birthday party. So that's why I really don't like to suggest drinking, but it's a phenomenal way to just
He don't suggest drinking, but he will do meth. He approves of meth, but not drinking.
give yourself a little bit of an edge in nightlife and in certain situations.
Yes, so you have a background in nightlife that I think has shaped some of your beliefs today. So aside from like the stats on dating apps and women choosing the top
Dude, the only nightlife I have anymore is staying up late playing games. That's my nightlife.
percentile of men, like what's kind of shaped your views around women? And what did you used to do in nightlife?
So I was a bouncer for a little while, and that kind of helped me
What kind of bouncer? What kind of bouncer? Like this dude wouldn't be. I couldn't even imagine him being a bouncer. Like he don't even look big enough to be a bouncer. Like nobody would be afraid of him. I know I wouldn't.
make a lot of necessary observations to shape kind of how I think about everything, right? So I was noticing who was going home with the pretty girls every night. And I noticed it was really about 1% to 2% of men, right? So it was people who were very tall, people who were very good looking. This is something I was noticing over my formative years when I was a teenager growing up, right? So
So basically, he's going through all these extremes just so he can get girls. Really? It sounds like he's trying to go for like the supermodels, though. It's like, what the fuck, dude? This is crazy.
making these observations, kind of seeing that sometimes good-looking people would be able to go up to women and start making out with them without saying anything. I kind of started to shift my worldview a little bit and realize, hey, okay, so this is like the most important metric, and I have to go all in.
Do you think status is more important than looks?
Absolutely not.
No,
No.
nothing else.
I think that status can get you further than looks sometimes, but
Yeah, he wasn't a bouncer in the way that we think, though. He was probably bouncing on something.
in terms of practicality, to beat people out in terms of looks, you have to be so outrageously well resourced that it just doesn't seem like something that's even worth suggesting or talking about, because the average person will never get there. The average person can improve their looks a lot more than their status, in terms of like what's actually accomplishable to be able to be hooking up with like top tier models. You really have to be like, 7 to 8 figure tier to be able to compete with some of these top looking guys. So I would say start with the looks, but also go with the status. It's the two metrics are majorly important, but what's actually possible for most people, I'd say start with looks.
So what you're speaking about here is
So he wants to go. He wants to go commit sexual assault by kissing random strangers. Yeah, I guess so. That's what it sounds like. Damn, dude. Hey, we might end up doing a stream. Wouldn't it be crazy if, like, a few years from now we end up doing a stream, or I end up doing a stream on this guy, and now he's like in prison for sexual assault, rape, and battery?
seems to be a lot on the front end of like meeting a woman or connecting with a guy. But as far as like long-term relationship happiness, would you say from your experience that a woman is more happy with a guy who's rich but not very good looking, or a guy that's good looking but not very wealthy? He's broke.
A woman who's with a man who's rich and not good looking will never truly love her. Okay, this is a term called beta buxing, right? Where a guy is only able to, have a girl, be with him simply due to his money. That's a beta buxer.
This, as much as I hate to say it, it is kind of true. And I feel bad for my neighbor. My neighbor moved, but he had a pretty good substantial amount of money. He had this lady that was with him. He's in a wheelchair. He's a paraplegic, so he was paralyzed from the waist down. And but the she was only with him for his money. And she wound up leaving him for about 2, 3 years. And then once she realized, the grass wasn't green on the other side, she came crawling back, and he took her back. I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me, dude." I'm like, "She's only here for your money." But yeah, they got back together again, and oh my gosh. It's almost cringe to watch from the outside when you watch uh somebody else's relationship, because you can see it when you're on the outside, but when you're on the inside, you don't see it quite as clearly. And it's like, dude, she's not with you. You're in a wheelchair. She's only with you because you got money, dude.
So they will never look at your eyes and be able to love you. And that's a horrible reality to face. And it's really sad. And I think a lot of them know that, but they're just okay with it because it's a way to overcome the disparity of, the modern dating market.
I mean, let's talk about the 24-year-old that's with who was the head coach of the Patriots? Damn it, what the hell's his name? Bill Belichick. That 24-year-old, you think she's with him because of his looks? No, she's there because of his money.
Okay, right? So they've realized that, hey, this is kind of what I have to do. And it's out of necessity, but it's still sad at the end of the day.
Yeah, this kind of contradicts a philosophy that I heard Myron Gaines talking about yesterday when we spoke. He said that guys, if you don't have any money or any status, you just always going to be worried about a dude with more money than you taking your girl. Do you kind of see it the opposite way?
I do, absolutely. It's the complete opposite way. I think he's dead wrong on that point. It will always be, someone who's better looking, who's going to screw things up for you, right?
That might be true though, because how many times have you seen a female with a dude that is loaded, but then she'll go, okay, prime example. Prime example. The stream I did yesterday, I think it was yesterday, on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Okay, she's with a dude that's got hundreds of millions of dollars, and then she's still gonna go cheat on him with some dude that she looked like she picked him up as a homeless dude with a backpack in an elevator. I mean, why would she even do that? I mean, you're with a dude that's got plenty of money. I'm not gay, but Johnny Depp's not a bad looking dude, you know?
Because women aren't really logical people. They won't sit there and think, hey, I'm in this,
Oh,
relationship where
oh, he called women non-logical. He called them non-logical. Oh, Chrissy's gonna take offense to that. Well, she's gonna punch her screen.
I have millions of dollars at my disposal. Things are really good for me. I'm in a gated community. I'm safe. They just don't think like I'm not going to mess things up.
Oh, he's got millions of dollars. He's in a gated community. Oh no, Christy done broke her freaking monitor, dude. She can't stream no more. She ain't gonna be able to play PoE 2 either.
They will just do irrational things like hook up with the gardener who's a Chad or something like that. Obviously, a Chad wouldn't be a gardener, but you get the picture, you know? So they're just not very rational people.
You've admitted that your content is dangerous because people misinterpret it.
Correct.
If you know that, why do you keep spreading it out there?
Because
Because that's how he makes his money.
I think that I offer comprehensive resources, right? So I do long form content as well, where if you actually, go through and listen to everything I'm saying, don't take things out of content, out of context, rather, things can go really well for you. We're talking about dangerous, pharmaceutical drugs, and with short form content, it is hard sometimes
Good job, Tyler. Deleting Roblox from your phone. Good job.
to,
And Bergie's got two of his daughters off. He's just got to get one of them off. I think his youngest one is still clinging on to hope.
fully comprehensively explaining everything. But when I funnel things to my YouTube, I see less of a problem with it, right? And I
Why the hell did they ban you? Why'd they ban you, Tyler?
always tell people, don't rely on a 30-second video to make a decision on things. I'm kind of just spreading awareness on various different methods, and I expect people to do a little bit more diligent research in terms of peptides and pharmaceuticals before just haphazardly taking things.
What's a sign that someone isn't attractive?
Do people not want to talk to the elevator? Do they not even look at you when walking by? I think these are just signs, like these are subtleties. Do people treat you really negatively,
For
all the
6'7"
time in
four
your
hunting?
life? Are people rude to you?
Yeah, see, you're hunting the pedophiles, man. They don't like that bullshit. See, now if you were a pedophile, they wouldn't ban you. They keep you in there.
Just do they never smile? Things like that. Do people look away if you make eye contact and look disgusted? You just kind of start to pick up on it as you're, going through life as an unattractive person. And people subconsciously know that they're not good looking. You don't have to be a looks maxer. You don't have to go through these black pill looks max forms to know and get rated. It's just
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not looking at people either, man. When I go out, I'm not trying to strike up conversations with people. I try not to look at them because it never fails. If I do look at them, they end up trying to talk to me. And then I end up in some long ass conversation. I'm just trying to get my shit and get out.
it's something intrinsic. It's something subconscious. You know when you're ugly, and it's a horrible thing to deal with.
A big one for me, and this is pretty controversial to say, but I had this friend who was really good looking, and he whistled at some girls, and I was like, oh my God, like, don't do that, bro. Like, women hate getting catcalled. And they all kind of waved back at him and were like, hey, like, how's it
Okay, somebody straighten this out for me right now. I don't care who. Why? You got some females that are saying, oh, they hate the catcalling. Then you got some that are mad because dudes aren't catcalling anymore, and they don't get catcalled, and they wish they did. So which one is it? I mean, you can't have both. Which one is it?
going? And I was like, there's no way that just happened. I'd never experienced someone doing that in my life. I'm sure you've had like similar experiences to that, maybe.
Yeah. So, in terms of what you can get away with, the threshold goes through the roof as you get better looking, right? You can do things that unattractive people can never fathom, right? You could see sometimes when I was working in nightlife, people would just go up to chicks, just grab them right away and start dancing, making out with them without saying a word. You try to do that as an unattractive male, someone's going to start screaming rape, right? So these are just the disparities.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think he needs to change that logic, man, because he's gonna go out and start kissing random girls. He's gonna get himself in trouble. Be like, but I'm a good-looking dude. I shouldn't be in jail.
And the differences between living as an unattractive male and living as an attractive male. It's just, you kind of have to go about things differently. What's acceptable is vastly different.
Yeah, I think I would agree. But guys, that does not mean do those things. It just means that some guys are able to get away with them. So what is the halo effect?
The halo effect is, going on right what we were just
The halo effect is when you fucking die from doing all the steroids and the meth and whatever else he's doing. That's the halo effect.
talking about. Everything is going to be perceived better when you're better looking, right? So certain traits, like if you're someone who, is on their computer all day, they're going to be like, oh, wow, he's so shy, he's so nerdy. Like this is so cute. Whereas if you're unattractive, you're
What? What the fuck's wrong with this dude? I take offense to that. I mean, I play games, I stream, I'm on a computer a lot. I got other shit to do too. I got repairs to do and stuff. That don't make me fucking nerdy. Fuck you, dude. I take offense.
computer gamer, you're sitting in your room all day. Oh, that guy's a fucking weirdo. That guy's a fucking creep. Stuff like this. So it's just the way
Well, I guess I'm a weirdo, y'all. I'm a fucking weirdo. I don't give a shit. That's crazy. I think he's a fucking weirdo. We're just not normal, guys. We're just not normal, apparently.
different actions that you do are perceived will be vastly changed by your looks level.
What's an example of this that sticks out to you in particular? Kay Shami and I talked about how serial killers would often get like better sentences, or like
Correct.
people would make edits of them on TikTok. But what's something you
Yeah,
think of?
so attractive prisoners get 40% less, on their prison sentence than unattractive, prisoners.
No, attractive prisoners have to worry about their back end is what they got to worry about. You're weird and I'm proud. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could say I'm weird. I'm not really weird though. But just to say that you play games and you stream and you're on your computer, that you're fucking nerdy all the time, it's like, I don't know that I agree with that statement, but if that's the case, I'm a fucking nerd. I don't care.
Or people on trial rather. So that's an example of the halo effects. I'd say that the biggest like in your face example of this was Jeremy Meeks. I don't know if you're familiar with who that is.
Oh, I remember this dude. Do y'all remember this guy? This dude, like when they seen that picture and then he got out of prison and he wound up with some CEO's like daughter. Like he had no money, but he ended up with the CEO's daughter. That was crazy.
So Jeremy Meeks goes to jail for, I believe it was assault and battery, right? And he gets bailed out by women on Facebook because they thought he was attractive, right?
Uh-huh. I remember
So
that.
just stuff like this, and he becomes a model from committing a crime. So that's probably the biggest
Yeah, he became a model too. I forgot about that.
halo effect that's even like imaginable, and almost no one will be able to experience that level of it. But that's just like the pinnacle halo effect, that you commit a crime that's awful and you become a model and you have girls fall in love with you.
So women on Facebook bailed him out.
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane. I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
He also, there was an interview of him where he was like, yeah, man, it's just hard work that gets you there.
And he also had like a funny like Freudian slip in the interview. He's like, never get up, man. But these guys are being incredibly disingenuous when they say stuff like that.
That's just sick, Tyler. Man, that's crazy. He probably would though too.
Every male model's interview is honestly just rage fuel. Like the stuff that they're saying, and you could tell that they're just like trying not to laugh at the shit that they're saying in the interview, how disingenuous it is. Oh, you just got to be a good person. Looks are only 30% of it. After building a career on being good looking, it's like, dude, just give me a break. So I always find those to be quite funny.
So to kind of encapsulate everything that we've been saying so far,
Yeah.
if you had to put it simply, Clav, why do you looks max?
I looks max
Yeah, why?
purely from a logical standpoint. I'm trying to improve the quality
I love how he says from a logical standpoint. This doesn't seem logical to me at all.
of my life, and I have come to the conclusion that this is the best means to do so. I know that looks are the most important metric, and it's something that's super within my grasp, right? I maximize all metrics of my life, but I've just come to the conclusion, based on anecdotes, based on numbers, that looks are the most important metric, and it would be insane to not prioritize them. That's why I looks max. It's not insecurity. It's not a trend.
All right, what do y'all think? Is it insecurity? Is it the most important metric? Or is he just insecure? What do y'all think?
For me, it's just I'm doing everything I can to improve.
What's the
Insecurity.
most
That's what I
important
say.
moment of your
100%.
childhood for us to understand who you are?
I think the most important moment of my childhood was not. I'll just explain.
Well, it's too late, Tyler. A lot of people have already seen him. Like apparently he's big on YouTube. Apparently he's big on streaming. I think Think he has a OnlyFans? He's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world for real.
Maybe
Well, he keeps getting these surgeries. He's gonna end up like a Ken doll. He's just gonna be all plastic.
I'll extend it a little bit, past just one specific instance because I never had like something super brutal that was like memorable, like pants pulled down in the middle of the cafeteria tier, but it was really just how many social outings I was missing out on, due to the fact that I was, slightly neurodivergent. And I think my lack of getting the halo effect because I didn't really grow up attractive. So I think these things
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's so fantastic. I don't remember the exact words. I ain't heard that song in so
and I
long.
would just be sitting, in my room a lot of the time on like, Friday nights and stuff like that. That kind of led me down the rabbit hole, I would say. I think it wound up, being for the best, but that kind of made me realize like, I saw often all the attractive people being super sociable and me not so much. So that was probably one of the most formative things.
So the looks maxing community talks about two concepts. So there's soft maxing and hard maxing. Maybe you kind of want to.
Oh shit, soft maxing and hard maxing. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Soft maxing and hard maxing.
Differentiate these. And what I was going to ask is, are there any useful soft maxes?
Absolutely. So soft maxes are things that are not very extreme looks maxes. That would be something like getting a tan, getting lean. And these are phenomenal, right? Soft maxing is actually going to get you, in terms of if we were to make a pie chart on what's accomplishable from soft maxing and hard maxing, soft maxing really can be like 70% of your gains, right? Because you could get all the surgeries in the world, but if you're high body fat, you're not going to be able to see the bones that you're augmenting, right? So it really does go a long way to just get tan and get lean. Those two things will ascend you pretty much the most than any other crazy looks max, like bone smashing and surgery. So those are the two things that
Yeah, I mean, if you want to lose some weight, get a tan, some shit like that, great. But don't go to the links of this dude, man. Don't be getting surgeries, smoking meth to try to have your cheeks be hollow. It's
are
unnecessary.
actually going to matter most.
Little tip if you want to improve your look, your first order. Also, you can scan the QR code on screen or hit the first link in the description. But anyway, guys, back to the podcast.
And then to push the limits and take things a step further, that's where hard maxing comes in, right? So hard maxing is taking pharmaceutical drugs, it's getting surgery, it's steroids, things like this.
So
Damn.
I wanted to go through some maxes in general, just ways to ascend yourself.
Okay.
So you can give me the segment's called cope or dope.
Cope or dope. Okay,
So
I love it.
dope
Cope
is
or
good,
dope?
cope is, that shit's bad.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Growing a beard.
It's contextual. I'll explain that why it's contextual. So certain people with really suboptimal, facial development, right? Maybe their mandibles really recessed. If you can grow a beard that can give your face a little bit more structure, the perception of more development, then absolutely.
Yep, there you go, guys. There you go. I've been ratted out. I grew this out because my face was fucked up, y'all. 100%. No, that's not why I grew this thing out. I mean, come on.
Absolutely, right? We see this with the guy who's going viral, the Ali guy. He's got a really recessed face, or Andrew Tate might be even a better example. Super
That's a funny picture of Andrew Tate. Holy shit.
recessed chin, has no facial dimorphism when he's clean shaven. So that's someone who ascends from a beard, and that's when it's dope, right? But I would say that if you've got a strong jawline and your facial proportions are good, then I would say it's cope.
So the top tier men usually don't have beards.
No.
Mewing.
Mewing is dope, and it's actually required during development. If you have improper tongue posture and improper breathing habits, then you're not going to develop correctly. You could have the best parents in the world, best genetics, but if you've got horrible habits, you won't develop into the best version of.
So, what is the correct tongue posture? What would be the correct tongue posture? Like, what the fuck? Where is they coming up with all this crazy stuff?
yourself. So definitely dope.
Bone smashing.
Bone smashing can be cope, if you don't understand.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Christy, you grew a beard to stay warm? What? You don't have a beard.
Use of it, right? So bone smashing is dope if you realize that the swelling is what you want, right? So in terms of going out before nightlife, what I'm
Maybe what she meant to say is she's going to start growing one. She's going to start growing one so that she can be warm.
trying to do with bone smashing, what my goal of it is to simulate more zygomatic, prominence, right? So more projection. So what I do
Oh my gosh, Tyler. Tyler says, I've been told that my beard is nice to ride. Oh my gosh. Shit.
is I use the swelling to my advantage. So I'll bone smash, and then I will cover up the inflammation with makeup. That way, people perceive my zygos as being a lot bigger from the bone, but not the swelling itself. So that's how I use it and make it dope. I could send you some pictures to pop up on the screen of like how I look after I bone smash, like a really hard session.
A bone smash? What the hell's a bone smash? Like, is he breaking his bones on purpose?
And you might find it a little scary. So that's why I usually have to lay in my bed and bone smash, because you could have some issues like getting CTE if you're just like punching your head really hard. And, obviously.
What the fuck? This dude is punching himself? He's punching himself.
If you're not well braced, things can go wrong and it can be horrible. So that's why I like to lay in my bed and brace myself. I wouldn't just do it like, standing up.
Okay, guys, I want to lay in my bed and brace myself so I can punch myself in the face.
Thumb pulling.
Thumb pulling, it's cope. You can't simulate distraction osteogenesis, of an MSC,
Thumb pulling.
which is a palate expander,
Like, I'm not trying to yank my damn teeth out.
from using your thumbs, right? It's ridiculous. Constant force needs to be applied, or else, you won't be able to maintain that progress or make any progress at all.
Self-tanning.
Totally dope.
Melanotan.
Dope.
Dyeing your hair or dyeing your eyebrows.
Dope.
Getting a perm.
Contextual.
Shoe lifts.
Dope.
Better fitting clothes.
Dope.
Using FaceApp to fraud on social media.
Dope.
Keto diet.
Wait a minute, they got a face app that you could fraud on social media? I didn't know that.
Cope. And I'll explain why that's cope. Right, so people do the keto diet and then they'll lose a lot of weight really quick, but it's not actually adipose tissue. It's not fat, right? So you're not actually getting like leaner in terms of body fat percentage, and you're going to start to
pull
feel
my
really low
earlobes
energy.
to
You're going
live
to feel
longer.
awful, and you actually won't be able to recruit motor units in the gym, right? So you won't be able to train, additional muscle fiber. So your progress will be super suboptimal because people don't realize that you actually need glucose for your CNS to be able to function correctly. So if you're someone who's really into physique maxing in the gym, just feeling good and high
You know what, Tyler? I can't do keto either. I'm not Japanese. I can't do keto because I'm not Japanese.
energy overall, then ketogenesis is one of the worst things that you could do.
Lifting weights.
Dope.
Lifting weights every day.
Dope.
Cologne.
Dope.
Wearing rings and chains.
Cope.
Getting tattoos.
Cope.
Ozempic.
Dope. I mean, I'm gonna just say Ozempic and pretend we're talking about just GLP-1s in general. The same
all good,
mechanism.
Chrissy.
Obviously, you're gonna want to go with retatrutide, right? It's much more selective. You're hitting 3 different receptors instead of just the one from Ozempic, and it's gonna get you a lot better results. You won't feel as nauseated. So retatrutide is a lot better, but it's the exact same class. They're both GLP-1 agonists.
Voice training.
Cope.
Teeth whitening.
Dope.
Veneers.
Dope.
Eye whitening.
Dope.
Chewing gum.
That's also contextual, right? It's going to depend on your masseter insertion. If you got super highly inserted masseters, right? And you start chewing really hard, and engaging in
Someone
masseter
called me a
hypertrophy,
weeb for
your
saying
face
I
is
was
actually
half
going to get
Japanese on
rounder and
Nox's
less
channel.
angular. But if you got
Oh,
these really
geez.
low set masseters, and you're lean, it could actually
Wait, so you're half Japanese? Oh no. Oh no, please don't retaliate. I was not there when we bombed. I promise.
make your jaw a lot more square. Like someone like Brad Pitt ascended a lot from, the masseter hypertrophy.
How do you improve your eyebrows?
Improving your eyebrows. The best way to go about that is going to be oral minoxidil. Now, I prefer that as opposed to the topical because the systemic drug is always going to be better. It's always going to be more efficacious. And if you really want to enhance that, you could come in with dermastamping, which is microneedling as well, to
Why the fuck would you put micro needles in your face? What?
really make your results more efficient. So that is the best way to go about it. And to take things a
Like, this dude needs to get a fucking job or do something. Get a hobby. Like, this sounds like a lot of work. This seems like a full-time job.
step further, dyeing them is going to be a great way to make them look a little bit more full, a little bit more striking. And you could also use what's called a micro brow pencil, right? A lot of men are super against using makeup, and I don't know why. It's just about not getting caught, right? If you could use makeup and no one knows, then there's no reason why you shouldn't, okay? So using a micro brow pencil to fill in any gaps in growth is absolutely a good idea. So I would say that combining these four things, almost anyone could have perfect eyebrows.
So why do you think men should wear makeup? And what are the, what
Wait,
kinds of makeup?
whoa. No, time out. Men should not wear makeup, period. Exclamation point, the end. If you're wearing makeup and you're a dude, you're gay. Period.
Do you wear?
I think men should wear makeup because it's the best way to, conceal different flaws in your face without actually addressing.
All right, guys. So if I get on, if I stream tomorrow, which I probably will, maybe that's what I need to do. I'll just put some makeup on. I'll put some like red lipstick on. Maybe like dye my beard pink. You know, you guys would flip on the fucking channel. You'd be like, you come in and be like, what the fuck happened to him? I asked my husband if I could make up on him, and he said, hell no. Oh, put makeup on him. I thought you I read that wrong. That's what I read that wrong. Thanks, sir. I wear makeup, but it's face paint. Well, face paint is different, man. If you're putting it under your eyes or something like that, that's different.
The underlying issues.
But if you're putting lipstick on and you're putting like eyeshadows and eyeliner and you're a dude, mm-mm.
It's a good way to bridge the gap temporarily, right? If you've got super recessed infraorbital bones, which is the bone right here, right under your eyes, you're going to start to have eye bags, right? Eye bags are not a result of not sleeping, right? It is,
Yeah, they are. Yeah, have you ever not slept well for a couple days? You get eye bags. That's from fucking not sleeping. What the fuck is wrong with this dude?
bone issue. You don't have support here. Your skin starts to sag as you age, and you get those eye bags.
Wear a pride shirt. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll come on here with like a rainbow colored shirt. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe I need to go to Walmart, get me like a multicolored hat, multicolored shirt, dye this pink here. Yeah, man. Come on, be like, guys, I'm transitioning, y'all. I'm transitioning. Surprise, bitches.
Are they a result of fat loss as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's a combination of the two, but it's going to be exacerbated by having what's called a negative orbital vector and not having support in this area. So it is largely a bone issue. So if you can conceal that issue by using
An abnormal or a normal orbital vector. So basically, I guess to make that an easy translation would be you lose your eye. Get a pimp hat and a cane. Oh my gosh.
A little bit of concealer.
I'm gonna have to do that now. I'm gonna do something fucking crazy. Like y'all just gonna pop in here one day. I gotta do something crazy, man. Maybe I need to get like the cop glasses, a pride shirt, a pride hat. Put a patch on my eye, and then like title the stream. This one's for Dan Crenshaw.
To kind of hide that and have people perceive your infraorbital bones as being better, then why shouldn't you, right? No one's going to catch you if you learn how to apply things properly. So it just makes no sense. If there's something that could literally improve you so easily, so cheap, why would you not do it? You know, that's how I always think about things. I don't think about societal implications or something being gay because some retard, said that. I'm just worried about results.
No, if you're putting makeup on, you're gay. Walmart sells pride gear. All right, bet. I'm gonna be down there. I'll go to Walmart tomorrow. I'll buy me some pride gear. People be looking at me funny in the line. I'll be like, "What y'all looking at? Are you assuming my gender, bitches?"
At all costs. That's always how I've thought about things. I really don't care about anyone's opinion. And the thing is, no one's going to have an opinion because if you're smart, you're not going to get caught.
So on eye bags, what else can you do to fix them? Is this filler like the best way?
No,
I'll tell you what you can do to fix them. Sleep. Get some freaking sleep. That'll fix them.
filler is very bad. I'm a huge anti-filler guy because the filler is going to migrate, right? It doesn't stay in one place and it never dissolves. We look at the MRIs of people who have gotten fillers over, decades or whatever, and it just never leaves. It can block lymphatic drainage in your face, right? So you'll just never really be the same after getting filler treatments. The work.
Oh no. Christy wants me to run around with a gay bear. Holy shit. Well, I guess that would make sense though. I guess I could do that because the bear does kind of slap like a girl. Like when he's in his motion and he's just kind of like, eh. Yeah, that might work. Man, this whole time I've been playing a gay bear. Holy shit.
Is in the jaw, it starts to migrate into your submental, and you just look like you've got this turkey neck. Just so much can go wrong.
Okay, off topic since we're talking about PoE too. I do need to ask. Do you follow builds or do you just wing it? Like do you just make your own build, just wing it? I need to ask since we're on this topic. Like I can't say I'm a pro at action RPGs. You follow builds. Okay. Okay. I know like I followed a build last league, but this league I just been kind of winging it. And it's been going all right so far, I guess. What is PoE? Well, exactly what it stands for. It means you po. You po. No, it's Path of Exile 2. It's a game.
Filler is not meant to simulate bone. It's meant to simulate soft tissue. The only use case for filler could be if you've got super deep pitted acne scars to kind of fix that. But that was the intended use of filler. Filler was never meant to replicate bone. That's what implants are for. So if you actually want to fix your eye bags and fix your infraorbital bones, you've got to do titanium implants. And not only is it more efficacious and it's going to get you better results, is it's also a long-term solution, right? Filler needs to be constantly redone, whereas implants are a one-and-done thing that's going to last you a lifetime. Not to mention,
I'm just playing with you, Tyler. You're not po. You're not po. Just playing with you.
the filler is actually going to be more expensive if you look at it over a lifetime, constantly going every 6 months and getting it done. It's just a higher upfront cost with the titanium implants.
Do you think volufuline is cope?
I think it's a temporary solution at best. That's what I speculate. But I would, in terms of inducing lipolysis, I would say that there's really no evidence for that.
I've done it for 6 months and I've noticed very minimal like effects on my under eyes. So, but apparently it only works for some people.
I would
So,
suggest that you start using concealer
concealer.
for your under eyes.
That makes sense. What is fraud?
No, don't take any suggestions from this dude. He's trying to get him all fucked up now. You're broke, Tyler? Well, I mean, if you want to get technical, we've all been broke at one time or another. And anybody that tells you any different is lying. We've all been broke at one time. So there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
Frauding.
Frauding is exactly what we just talked about. So using makeup, using shoe lifts, wearing wigs, things like that. These
Facial stuff for men, I'm not really on board with it. I don't think a dude should be doing anything to his face, honestly. I mean, you damn sure shouldn't be punching your face. Maybe if you want to dye your beard, I could see that, but other than that, like, shouldn't be touching your face. No.
are all frauds because that's not actually who you are. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Women fraud the hardest out of anyone. They're wearing the most makeup. They're wearing, fake bras. Sometimes they're stuffing stuff in there.
Now, that shit is crazy. How some women, I don't know how they do it, man, but some of them can put the makeup on so good that when they take it off, it's almost literally like looking at a different person. Just got my bank account login today and it is negative 203.96, and I have PayPal account that is negative 470 and another PayPal account that is negative 900. Holy shit. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Donald Trump was negative 900 million at one time. Yeah, I don't know how some of these women do it, man, but they'll put makeup on and yeah, good for you, Kirsty, if you don't wear makeup. Good for you, man. Cuz yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with being natural. Just be who you are.
Frauds as well. So women are like the pinnacle fraud maxers. So all I'm suggesting is why can't
Oh, he said women are the pinnacle fraud maxers. Oh, Christy's fixing to. She already destroyed her monitor. She's fixing to take the computer out now.
men compete on the same, level,
So what are the best frauds for men?
I would say that makeup and, shoulder pads, lifts, all these things are probably the best frauds.
What would you rate Marlon on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would rate Marlon between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. So I'd put him right around Chad. Extremely good looking, very mager. So
Right around Chad. Where did this whole Chad thing come from? Like, I don't even want to be near Chad. Like, fuck Chad. I don't even want to be near Chad.
I'd rate him Chad.
What's his main negative?
His main negative is his mandibular growth, right? So he's got a bit of a recessed mandible. You look at some of the clips of him in motion from the side profile, his chin is slightly recessed. Obviously we're being hypercritical just for the objective rating. I think he's better looking than me before anyone goes crazy. But it's just like if we're being hyper analytical, that like these small things take him down a little bit in terms of his points.
Scared to ask for my rating, man. I'll ask this. I'll ask a positive because I already had Kay Shammy
I wouldn't want a rating from this dude anyways.
and Dylan Latham roast me for different things. What's my best trait?
Your best trait is actually your facial angularity, right? So, you've got super striking hollow cheeks, a very lean face. And obviously, I've seen your TikTok videos from a couple of years ago. You got a lot leaner, right? So that strikingness really ascended you a lot.
And then what's one soft max you would recommend?
Soft max I would recommend. I would really advise you to look into fixing the under eyes with a little bit of concealer. And
No, don't take any advice from this dude. No. He's trying to get somebody else to fuck up their face too.
I would say for your case, I would actually place peptides in the soft max tier, especially melanotan 2, just because of how risk averse it is. I would say that melanotan 2, getting a tan would really ascend you a lot with your phenotype.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Those two things can seriously ascend you. The
I don't know. I can't promise, Tyler. They might start kissing before this is over with.
melanotan would be the main driver, but you would look a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like I'm becoming more black pill myself because I do self tan, but the melanotan from the results I've seen of other people, it just looks like way better.
Yeah, you really can't beat out, the tan from the UV. It's not possible to do. And melanotan too is going to, spare you from a lot of the damage required to
Yeah, and then what are you gonna do when you got skin cancer later on? Then what are you gonna do?
get to your goals, right? Because any amount of UV exposure is sun damage, right? It's damaging, your collagen production and things of this nature. So our goal is to minimize the exposure to the highest degree possible.
So what are your top 3 peptides?
Top 3 peptides. My top 3 peptides are retatrutide, that's going to be the GLP-1 that we discussed before. That's going to be melanotan 2, and that's going to be BPC 157. I really like
I was fixing to say, what is clostrobic? That's like a cholesterol medication. Clostrobic. The new cholesterol medication, clostrobic.
BPC 157 for how cardioprotective it is. A lot of people are using it only for the recovery, which it's fantastic for that. But a lot of people don't realize that it's super good for your heart in terms of damage prevention. So that's why it's on my list as well.
Tyler, if they start kissing, I'm just gonna end the stream. I'm gonna be like, I'm done. That's it. Ending stream. Cut it.
So 12% of Americans are on Ozempic. It's definitely considered the miracle drug of the past few years. Do you see it as a miracle drug?
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is a miracle drug. With how absurd, the food quality is and the selection in America, it's kind of just like a requirement, right? So I always talk about adapting to the times, and you'll see a lot of people take the route of, oh, well, let's go back to, the prime.
Now that shit does work though. Like my mother, she's got diabetes. She didn't get on Ozempic. She's not on Ozempic. She's on a different one, but it's like Ozempic. And she was 260 pounds, and she's been taking it for like 6 months, and she's already down to like 225. But she didn't take it to lose weight. They put her on it because of diabetes. But yeah, that shit does work.
Primal ages, right? Where we only eat steak and we only eat as our ancestors did. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That can work. But let's just be realistic here. What's economically, realistic for most people is not going to be eating steak 3 meals a day, right? So using a pharmaceutical drug to just suppress your appetite a little bit, when we see the safety profile of these things, we see how it is long term. All the research is there, and it's really safe to use these drugs. I think it is a miracle, and I think it's just kind of putting yourself in the right position for the horrid times that we live in.
So is it objectively healthy, if you're someone who takes Ozempic or retatrutide, is it objectively healthy
He probably eats his fillers and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He probably does.
to eat like 700 calories a day for an extended period of time?
No, being in that restrictive of a caloric deficit is not healthy, right? Just depleting yourself of that many nutrients is horrible for you. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to do that on a super short term, basis to really hit your goals a lot quicker. It's really not that detrimental to your health. But if we're talking about, people who are doing this and just borderline anorexia tier for extended periods of time, that's really horrible for you.
Yeah, what the hell's up with Berg, man? Like Berg, he hasn't been streaming. Well, you said he was sick. That's right. I asked you earlier. But yeah, I noticed he had been streaming, and he popped in here for a little bit, but I don't know, he just seems kind of, I guess down, I guess. But you said he wasn't feeling good, so I mean, I guess that's why.
Doing a weight loss period over an extended period of time is a lot healthier, where you're only in a 300 to 500 calorie deficit.
What's going to be the next miracle drug in the next few years?
I think the next miracle
Please don't say meth.
drug will probably be something to do with hair. so that no one goes bald anymore. I would say that that's probably the next breakthrough.
Well, see, I won't have to worry about that drug because I like shaving my head anyways. It's less maintenance. Less maintenance. Yeah. The next miracle drug is meth.
That we get in science, because it is a little bit ridiculous, and no one should be going bald with the stuff that's available now. But a lot of the stuff for hair loss is only preventative, right? There's really not a lot you can do once it's already gone, right? So minoxidil can regrow hair that's fallen out, but once you're totally bald, it's kind of just beyond saving.
Yeah, but what if you choose to not have hair? Like, I like not having hair. I don't have to comb it. Like, I can just flip a hat on. I'm good to go. Cocaine? No, cocaine was the original Narcan.
So we don't have that yet, but I think we will soon, definitely within the next 5 years.
So what's the best thing to take, or what's the best peptide or drug to take for hair growth?
For hair growth, so the best drug for hair growth is minoxidil. The best drug for hair loss is going to be dutasteride, right? And they're very synergistic. You need to take both of them for an optimal hair loss protocol.
Do you think there's any drug that big pharma is gatekeeping, like something that's really effective?
Absolutely. That's going to be Increlex, right? So generic IGF-1, it's really only accessible by like Elon Musk tier billionaires because it's so outrageously expensive, right? We're talking about $180,000 a month for this stuff. So, Increlex, the branded IGF-1, that's what I would say, because this is quite literally the best thing.
It's $180,000.
The next miracle drug is breast milk. Well, they already got breast water. You seen that earlier in the stream. They got breast water now. Yeah, well, I mean, you can shave your hair off if you want to. Wear your hat like I do. Don't have to be the same type of hat, but yeah, man, that's the only reason I shave my head, man. Because I don't like having to comb it. It'd be all messed up. I just shave it, put the hat on, I'm good to go. Like I can get up in the morning and be ready in like 10 minutes.
Per month. Yeah, around that.
Got it. Okay, and what's it do for you?
So IGF is one of the best growth pathways, in terms of, just getting more size. It's a really important hormone in your body. There's a couple different growth pathways. There's obviously anabolism, IGF-1, insulin.
Anabolism? Anabolism? What are we talking about? Eating animals now?
But IGF is going to be, the best thing that you could do because you're not actually interfering with your endocrine system.
Does my head shine? Yeah, it shines, absolutely. 100%. I go to the auto store and I get mother's wax and I use a buffing machine. Like it's super shiny. I can't even take my hat off. If I took my hat off, it'd blind you guys. You wouldn't even be able to see it. You wouldn't be able to see your screen. You just
So to hop on steroids, right, you're shutting down a natural process in your body. Whereas if you decide to take HGH or IGF-1 LR3, it's a good way to segue into, the whole world of pharmacology in terms of optimizing, different.
Well, if he wants to be bald, just tell him to shave. Just tell him to shave his head. That's all he's got to do. That's what I do. I mean, my hair still grows, but I shave it.
Mechanisms in your body without fully committing to something. So you could do HGH for a couple of weeks and stop it if you don't like it. So that's why I think it's the best.
So IGF-1, what are the negative?
Well, he's lucky then. He's got you to shave it. See, I don't have anybody to shave it, so I stand in the mirror. I actually got to get a mirror, and especially when I'm doing the back of my head, I got to get a mirror and then like turn the mirror to face the other mirror in the bathroom so I can actually see the back of my head, see what I'm actually doing. So yeah, he's lucky. He ain't got to do it himself.
Side effects?
The negative side effects, it could be slightly carcinogenic, and there's a lot of potential side effects like organ hypertrophy if you're using like the HGH that converts into IGF-1 through your liver. So there's always that. But if you're using IGF-1 that's only being localized within the muscle, there's almost no side effects at all. And the other side effect, well, it's not really a side effect, but it's what can happen, is, you're down regulating your IGF-1 receptors. So what the IGF-1 is binding to, if you're constantly,
You look like a scary hitman. All right, well, me and him could team up, man. We could become gangsters together, man. Real gangsters, not wannabe gangsters. Every time I shave his head, I make him have a friar tuck, and I die. Sometimes sometimes I do that too. Like I'll shave like one when I'm shaving it, I'll do like one side of my head, and then leave like the other half, make me look like Jason or something.
injecting it, rather than relying on your natural production.
What drug do you think everyone should take?
Testosterone, 100%. I think everyone should be on.
Oh, everyone should be on testosterone. You heard him? So Christy, get to work. Testosterone. You need to start pumping some testosterone in you. Next time you go live, we better see some freaking muscles.
Testosterone. There's no reason that in 2025, with all the endocrine disruptors out there that you're hearing about, that you should be on the endocrine system. It's just outrageous to me. Why? You'll hear all these videos from, the big wellness people talking about how you have to do a list that's, 20 pages long of things to avoid to maintain optimal testosterone levels. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why? Wouldn't it be a lot easier to just, inject it exogenously and not have to worry about, all these potential detriments to your life? It just doesn't make sense at all. So that's why I think everyone should be on.
There you go, Kirsty. You need to get your husband on testosterone immediately. You need to start pumping him with testosterone. You need to buy you like a gallon jug somewhere, 50-gallon jug. Tyler, are you taking testosterone? Thanks for reminding me to take my testosterone pill. Oh no, Tyler, you take testosterone? Shit, maybe I need to get on the bandwagon. I don't know, I need to go find a drug dealer. See if I can get some on the street. Nah, you don't want to do that though, because it might have fentanyl in it.
Test.
How much test do you take?
Right now, I'm on 280 milligrams of testosterone.
Is there a range that someone would be in that you wouldn't recommend them to take test?
Yeah, so I really wouldn't recommend people go much higher than I am right now, because you start to detriment your face actually in terms of facial bloating. Testosterone is going to cause your face to bloat a little bit, carry a little bit more water, and you start to run into the side effect profile at, I would say, around 350 to 400 milligrams for most people, especially in my case. You're going to start to deal with hair loss, right? For most people, they're not going to actually be able to counteract that with just do.
So testosterone is so men have testosterone. It like makes them. I guess you could say it makes them who they are. Technically, it makes them. If they take too much testosterone, it can make them violent. Like they can become very violent. But that's kind of what gives a dude like the drive to compete, the drive to succeed, the drive to chase women, the drive to do this, the drive to do that. That's basically what it does.
Red. You're also going to need a topical anti-androgen, and you're going to need something for your estrogen, and then it becomes just a whole to-do list and a whole pharmacy of drugs you need.
No, forget the estrogen part. Dudes do not have estrogen. You don't need to be taking estrogen.
Just to be able to take the testosterone. But if you're at a dosing protocol that's similar to mine,
If you need estrogen and you start bleeding and you're a dude, you need to go to hospital.
you're not going to have to do much to maintain it. And people don't like to take a lot of things. They like to be easy. So that's why I recommend staying around 250.
What is GHKCU?
GHKCU, that's
Oh, the men on the men on pause.
a peptide that's very good for collagen and elastin synthesis. The problem is it has to be used for a few consecutive months to really start to take effect when used systemically, right, when injected. So that's why I'm actually realizing more and more that the topical could actually be a better answer. And the other problem with GHKCU is it actually can interfere with your IGF-1, like we talked about before. It can interfere with your receptors, play a role in, just potentially down regulating them.
Like, did this dude just go to medical school so he could learn all this shit for his physique? Like, he's spitting off a bunch of medical pharmaceuticals I've never heard
It's
of.
just really not a good idea. The evidence for that is not fully conclusive, but there's enough for it to cause concern, and the fact that I wouldn't use it just because of what's out there.
So best peptide for fat loss, I'm guessing retatrutide.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Best peptide for muscle building, I'm guessing IGF-1.
LR3, yep.
Yeah, he probably just
and
looked it
then
up on the internet.
Best drug for hair growth, you said dutasteride and finasteride, or not
No, Rogaine. No, the best hair growth, Rogaine. Or get you a chia pet and grow it on your head.
finasteride,
Minoxidil,
minoxidil,
yes.
oral mixed
Yes.
together. What's the best peptide for better erections?
Best peptide for a better erection. Well, it's not going to be a peptide. It's a different class of drugs. It's going to be Cialis, right? So that's a vasodilator. A lot of people have, taken like gas station.
Isn't Cialis for like old people? Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was for old people.
Rhino pills and stuff like that. It's just not necessary to take that. Take Cialis. That vasodilation is going to help 99% of people be 100% proficient in their erection quality. And most of the time, I've noticed that.
Oh no. Oh no. So if you want better erection quality, Tyler, you need to take Cialis. Boy, this went off the rails real quick.
People with erectile dysfunction, it's the result of something in their brain chemistry, just issues with their dopamine from watching excess amounts of pornography, right? So that's pretty much the issue: is sensitivity, dopamine related issues. It's usually not vasoconstriction that's causing people to have poor erections, right? But I always use Cialis because not only is it good for erection quality.
Bro, if he's using Cialis at this young of an age, boy, he's gonna have some major fucking problems when he gets older.
It is one of the healthiest things that you could take for your blood pressure. There's literally no side effects to it. One of the best pharmaceuticals that you could take.
What would you say are the best and worst steroids for muscle growth?
The best steroid is testosterone. Test is best, by far. That's always the saying. If you could remember one thing that I tell you, test is best. And I would say the worst, by far, is Masteron. You might think, hey, well, you said that you took that before. Yeah, and I did. But it's very specific, the usage for Masteron. It has to be taken at a certain period of your life for it to be effective. And that has to be during puberty so you could reap the benefits of the penile development, right? So once you're past that point, all Masteron is going to...
No, your penile development will happen on its own naturally. You don't have to take Mastodon or whatever the fuck this stuff is called.
serve to do is cause your hair follicles to go to shit, right? So Masteron is horrible. DHT is not very good of a steroid. It's not very powerful. So I would speculate that Masteron's the worst of the worst.
What's the best diet for getting jacked?
Yeah,
The best diet
Mastodon.
for getting jacked. So that's going to be an interesting one because I don't really think that diet and food selection actually matters that much. I think that food is a numbers game, and how you get there is not the most important part. It's about the macronutrients 100%, right? So, and not only about the macronutrients, but when you're consuming them.
chunk will be as
So it's
big as a
really important for you to
mastodon.
have your carbs right before the gym, so that they're digested by the time you start working out, so you can have the motor unit recruitment that we talked about.
It'd be like go out on a date and you show up with like a wheelbarrow in between your legs. Like, what are you doing? It'd be like, I gotta carry this to carry my mastodon around. Oh shit.
And your protein, obviously, after the gym. Say you work out first thing in the morning, we're going to want to front load our day with all of our carbohydrates because that's the only time it's really necessary to have them. And after that, only consuming protein. And the last macro that you might not have heard is dietary fat because there's no reason for it, right? Especially if you're enhanced, you don't need dietary fat because cholesterol is one of the things that helps naturals synthesize testosterone, but that's not an issue for me. And the other thing is you're not going to be able to have both of your growth pathways maximized, right? MTOR and myofibril protein synthesis and motor unit.
See, now you're gonna have me making jokes about that. Next time I see my mother, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, stay away from my mastodon. Don't get too close. What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Recruitments that comes from carbs and protein. You're not going to be able to maximize those two things and be in a caloric deficit if you're also having fat, right? So fat doesn't help you with any growth pathway. It's not a necessary macronutrient. It can help you a little bit with having omega-3s for cognition and sex drive, things like that. But in terms of just the gym, it's not a necessary macronutrient to make gains. And you might think, oh, well, I'm a natural. I need to eat dietary fat. You would be really surprised how insignificant its role in synthesizing testosterone is.
So
Why'd you only have 3 hours of sleep? What were you? What have you been doing? You been gaming? What have you been? Why did you only get 3 hours of
what's your
sleep?
diet look like in a day?
My
And if your face, no, don't let your face fall off. Your face can't fall off. You need to go to the hospital if it's about to fall off. Stay away from my mastodon, old lady. Yeah, stay away from my mastodon, old lady. Get the fuck away from him. This is my wheelbarrow. It's carrying my mastodon.
diet varies a good amount in terms of my food selection, but the macronutrients stay very similar. I'm having 250 grams of carbs before I work out. That's what I'm doing. That usually comes from oatmeal. That's a pretty static one, just because I wake up and it's there. So I have 250 grams of carbs before that, and then the rest of the day is protein, right? Often rely on air fryer chicken because it's very convenient. It tastes good to me.
Air
And it's
fryer
cheap,
chicken.
So those are the reasons. So it's just
No, I demand grease in my chicken. No, fuck that air fryer shit. I want grease. I'm on the 65 and out plan, so I need grease to clog my arteries. I'm on the 65 and out plan.
about the timing of the macronutrients and the macronutrient profile itself. So that's a full day of eating for me most days.
What drugs do you take in a day? Hey, really fast. Did you guys know that we started this podcast a little over a
I like how they did that. It's like, what drinks do you take? And then switch really fast. I'm making peanut chicken and Chinese style green beans for dinner tomorrow. Oh boy. What the hell is peanut chicken?
Of eating for me most days.
What drugs do you take in a day? Hey, really fast. Did you guys know
Oh,
that
dang
we
it. I
started
thought I
this?
skipped through that. Let's see what
Drugs do
drugs
I
he
take
takes in a day.
That's a really good question. So my whole regimen is as follows. For growth, for the gym, I'm taking testosterone every single day because I'm taking a very short ester of testosterone to keep my hormonal profile most in line with what it would be as a natural. That's testosterone propionate. That's the ester, right? Some people take long esters.
Maybe that's a West Coast thing. Because I don't think over here on the East Coast, I don't think we got peanut butter on any of our chicken. At least not that I'm aware of.
So they don't have to inject as frequently, but that can cause a plethora of issues, right? You can deal with more aromatization if you're having a huge swing in your testosterone, right? So I try to keep it level. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. That's my hair protocol. I also take
Dude, I bet you this dude is like a female. I bet you it takes him like 2 hours to get ready in the morning.
Accutane. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I've been taking this for a few years now because a lot of people often rely on topical tretinoin for anti-aging and collagen, but it's a much better idea to take a systemic drug because a topical is not going to be as efficacious as something systemic, and you're not going to hit the deeper layers of your epidermis. So the Accutane is going to have a lot more, of a prolific.
Said he doesn't go to the gym. Yeah, I'm sure he goes to the gym. Don't worry, I won't use Chinese gutter oil. I don't even know if I want to know where that comes from. I've never even heard of that. Chinese gutter oil.
Effect on your collagen and things of this nature than any topical cream ever would. So I'm taking Accutane. I use crystal meth, so methamphetamine.
He uses crystal meth. Holy shit.
for as a stimulant and to lean max, right? It's very suppressant of your appetite.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Go tell your parents that. I'm doing crystal meth because I'm lean maxing. What the fuck?
It's a very long acting stimulant. So this is something that I've started using in place of Adderall, right? Because Adderall is 75% dextroamphetamine and 25% levoamphetamine. So the levoamphetamine, I really didn't like it. It's too much of a physical CNS stimulant.
Like with him saying this, he can inject Chinese gutter oil in his lips. I don't know. His lips look like they already got Chinese gutter oil in them. I mean, I don't know. It'd have to be something different. It looks like he's already got that in there.
So if you're trying to work, it just can be too much, too jittery. Whereas the meth is a little bit better in terms of its dopamine release. Just being targeted for the brain, crosses the blood-brain barrier a lot quicker. And when you say crystal meth, it sounds outrageous because a lot of
You know, I don't know if I'd be advertising that online that I'm using crystal meth. Like, I mean, couldn't he go to jail or prison for that? I mean, I guess it depends on where they're at. If they're like in California, they wouldn't give a shit.
people don't know that meth has different isomers, right? So the street meth, the L-methamphetamine,
Chinese gutter oil, sewer drain waste. Ugh. Yeah, maybe I think he's got that in his lips. I see a little bit of black coming out in there. They do look a little black and blue.
is what people are smoking, what people are tweaking out on, and what makes them related, right? So this is not the stuff that I'm using, right? I'm using like very, very low therapeutic dosages of deep
Okay, guys, there's very, very, very low dose of meth that is therapeutic for you.
methamphetamine, which is actually something that's prescribed by doctors. It's called Disoxin. I say meth as a shock factor because of how outrageous it sounds. So with people watching Breaking Bad and seeing meth tweakers, you hear, oh my God, this guy's so crazy. But you actually inform people, no, Disoxin is a prescribed medication, and I'm taking a very
Dick so- Did he say Dick Soxon? Is that what it's called?
low dose of this, like 10 times lower than the prescribed amount. Just as a mild stimulant, it's much more mild than Adderall, actually. And, it works a little better for me, and I use it to lean max, right? So I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at in terms of looks maxing. But I just like to say stuff like that for the shock factor because it's just like an initial hook. But then I could really explain it to you and you realize, hey, that's actually not so crazy.
Okay. And then that's all you take in a day?
No, and I also will take retatrutide once a week. I take
Hey, that's not a bad idea, Chris. You snort pixie sticks? Heck yeah, man. You get that sugar rush probably in a hurry. Discox. Discoxin. All right, guys. Since we're since I don't even know why we're going down this fucking rabbit hole. Hold on. I gotta pull this up. I'm gonna type it in chat though. Hold on. So did y'all know that there is a generic of Viagra? Was y'all aware of that? You know what the name of it is? Here you go. I'll type it.
melanotan 2 every single day.
How
200.
much retatrutide do you take?
I take 15 milligrams.
Got it. And that would be considered a fairly high dose?
Extremely high dose. Yes, it's a gigadose of retatrutide. But I value my leanness extremely highly. That can be, it's certainly a problematic dose in terms of the heart rate from the glucagon receptor. It's definitely not a healthy dose. Retatrutide will increase your lifespan. Retatrutide is incredibly healthy and good for you, but definitely not at that dose. So there's a little bit of nuance there. So I'm taking retatrutide, melanotan 2. I'll take IGF-1 occasionally, and HGH.
Any recreational ones?
Yeah, so I use a lot of pregabalin and baclofen for being a little bit more low inhibition to kind of take me over the edge. These are not things that are used daily, but they are used for weekends for going out because I think that alcohol is evil
He's like, is it really?
but necessary. But these things are a good way to replicate alcohol and copy similar mechanisms without being as toxic to your liver, being as neurotoxic and ruining some of your growth pathways for the gym.
So they kill anxiety pretty much, but they don't make you dumb necessarily?
Well, they do,
All
and they
right.
certainly can have neurotoxicity issues, but they're just not as bad as alcohol. And alcohol is really going to limit your ability to synthesize protein, your mTOR. So there's a lot of problems for people who want to have a good physique in alcohol. You'll notice when you're hungover and you try to train in the gym, it just isn't the same. With this stack that I'm taking, it's not as problematic, right? So I just don't advise this always on a broad scale because with alcohol, it's rate limited. You really can't fuck yourself up because if you start to drink too much, you throw up. Whereas this stuff, if not done under
Yes, his IQ has come up a little bit. He said if you drink too much, you throw up. Yes, that is. I think his IQ just came up 1 point.
careful supervision, people can take too much. People can seize. People can run into issues. And I just don't trust a lot of normies IQ to be able to use this reasonably, but I do trust myself.
You're essentially testing out
C22H30N604S is the name. What? She. I don't even know. That can't be the name of it.
human optimization for an entire generation. In 10 years' time, what do you think we'll learn from your experiment?
How mad do you think this dude's going to be when he finds out that the robots look better than he does? They've already got these realistic looking robots, like male and female. What's he going to do when these robots look better than he does?
I think that we are going to start to see a lot more optimization of puberty, right? In terms of what's possible from ascending, you really can't do much past when you're done developing because we're basically elevating natural growth pathways and we're taking things to the next level. But once those are closed, what's possible, just the rate of ascension is a lot lower. So what we're going to see over the next few years is a lot more willingness for teenagers to start using things like HGH to get taller, aromatase inhibitors, and we're already seeing that.
Yeah.
The rate of
Yeah, he's going to be like, I think these robots need some testosterone. I think we'll put it in this wire here.
teen PED users is through the roof from what it used to be. And as peptides become more accessible, and as things start to get more normalized through social media, people like me talking about them, it's just going to be more widespread.
Do you know anyone else that takes as many drugs as you do?
Yeah, well, both of my
Yeah, fucking 60 and 70-year-olds. He's probably taking more drugs than people that are older.
roommates, we're all using steroids, pretty much the same cycles. We're all running reasonably low doses of testosterone. I consider myself quite reasonable with my steroid usage, right? I'm not doing a blast. I'm not really trying to prioritize my physique over my face. I'm just trying to have like a little bit of a lifestyle type physique. 280 milligrams of testosterone. If you compare that to what bodybuilders and IFBB pros are taking like a tenth of what anyone, who's super committed to the gym is taking. So it's really not fair that people will compare my physique to them. I'm like, dude, I'm on the 10th of the dosage. So we all use reasonably low amounts of test. We'll use HGH and pretty much all the same stuff.
So if you have a son one day,
Jeez.
naturally,
God, I hope he doesn't have kids, man, because if he has kids, he's going to have them fucked up. He's going to have them doing the same shit. Have you seen Zac Efron? He looks all sorts of fucked up. This reminded me of him. No, I haven't seen. I don't even know who that is. I'll have to look it up after stream though.
6'2" with a good face. Would you recommend that he did what you did?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I would be very
Oh no, he's gonna have his kids doing this shit too. Oh, come on, man. Hopefully he don't have kids.
confident that under my supervision, we could really make a lot of progress and make sure that no complications arise, right? Because there was no supervision in my case. I had to figure things out on my own. But now that I've done that and now that I understand even more now, I would be very confident to recommend that to one of my kids.
I noticed that you use the language a lot
No
that
way.
most people aren't able to synthesize the information correctly, apply it correctly, and this is a concept.
Vince McMahon looks weird with a mustache. I'll just say that.
I went into with Kareem as well, but like, what is the IQ pill, and like, why does IQ matter so much with all these things?
The IQ pill is everything. No
Okay, well, the IQ pill is not everything because his IQ is shit.
one will be able to ascend without a high IQ, right? To be able to, come up with the amount of money you need to get some of these surgeries and do, things like, peptides and steroids, because it's not cheap. You're going to have a high IQ, right? And not only that, you're going to also have to have a high IQ to understand the reason that you need to do these things and be able to make observations in society that are important enough
Yeah, he looks fucking
for you
weird
to
with a
decide to take
mustache.
this course of action, because it's an extremely insane course of action. It's definitely pushing the limits on life. So I think that's only something that people with almost neurodivergence are going to be able to do and actually apply, right? I think normal people want to live in fantasy land. They won't have the IQ to be able to have that kind of.
Oh, he said normal people living in fantasy land. We living in fantasy land, yo. Madonna too. Sharon and Kelly Osbourne fucked up their faces. Yeah, they did. There's 2-year-olds with higher IQs than him for real. Like, this dude's an idiot.
Amount of money saved up
But according to him, we're all stupid.
and be able to have the means to get these surgeries. So it quite literally is a brutal IQ pill. That's why most people will never ascend. It's not about their looks and their genetic base. It's just their lack of urgency, their lack of willingness to do what it takes, and that stems from IQ.
Do you know what your IQ is?
No, it would be
Of course he don't. He don't know because he ain't got one.
ridiculous for me to cite some sort of online IQ test unless something is actually done in person and verified. There's no reason to say it. And I think a lot of people will take IQ tests with a high frequency on the internet, and that leads them to believe that their IQ is a lot higher. But once you start to take these tests repeatedly, you get better at them, and people will take like 10 IQ tests in a row, eventually end up with a good score, and then start flexing that on the internet and telling their friends. And it's like, no, it's got to be a scored in-person test, or else it's not certified,
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes it seem
If he has an IQ, I bet it's 1. If he even has one.
almost unreliable in a way that the more you take it, the better you get at it.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd be the first person to have a negative IQ score. Like, sir, you are negative 260. You are the stupidest person we've ever had come through our building.
So I guess it would have to be the first time someone ever takes it, and that's the only one that counts.
It's got to be in person at a certified testing location.
But if you do that twice, would you say
They
that?
don't let you. You
Oh,
can't
got it.
do it twice in a row. So it's like a regulated process. That's why unless someone has one of those results to cite as their IQ, I'm like,
That might be only for him, though. They probably wouldn't let him take it twice because they're like, no, we don't need to do it twice. You're negative 260. You're not going to improve from that. Like, you're not even close to 0. Ashton Kutcher has the same IQ as Albert Einstein. That's kind of hard to believe.
get the fuck out of here, And also, I do think it's a little bit ridiculous and like almost feels narcissistic to like say your IQ out loud.
Isn't that narcissistic that a narcissist is telling us about being narcissistic? That's a fucking tongue twister.
I just don't think it's necessary. Like we know people are smart, we know people are dumb. There's no point in me sitting here and saying, "Oh, my IQ is X," you know.
Well, let me ask you this. What would be an IQ that would be reasonable to apply everything that you've said properly?
110.
Okay. And then average is 90?
110? You have the IQ of a rhino. I have the IQ of a bear. I have the IQ of a pink bear, pink funny bear that swipes like this. Yeah, all this time I've been playing a gay bear.
To 100?
Depends on the race. It depends on what race you are, but white people are going to be around 100. So that's a little bit above average IQ.
Have you ever had anything go wrong in your looks maxing journey?
Yes, so I've had to go to the hospital once before, back when I was
Oh, that's a shocker. Had to go to the hospital. A pride bear? Yeah, it's a pride bear. I guess I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go in the game and make it multicolored. I mean, it already swipes like a queer, anyways. You know, because it swipes like this and like, Now that I think of it,
16 years old because my blood pressure got up to 190. And the reason for that was an extremely excess amount of sodium intake from table salt in conjunction with a high dosage of testosterone. So I had to go to the hospital to get an EKG, make sure everything was fine, and get some.
see, he's gonna end up having a heart attack before he's even 30. Like he keeps this shit up. Like if he's already going to the hospital,
Blood
man.
pressure medication, but it wasn't like I had a heart attack or something like that. I just, was doing my morning check of my blood pressure, or weekly check, whatever it was. I saw that. I was like, I'm gonna make sure everything's okay and get a prescription medication right away. So that was probably the worst thing that's happened to me in terms of my, experience with pharmaceutical.
You know, all jokes aside, I hate to say this, but we're probably going to either down the road, we're either going to end up doing a stream of him, either something's going to happen to him, like he might die, or he's going to end up in jail or prison for sexual harassment against women.
And then on the neurodivergent portion, you've
Is Path of Exile 2 free? No. So I think it's like $30, but then it's free after that. Like you don't have to pay like a monthly fee or anything like that. And it's in early access right now, so it's not really the full game. Now, if you want to wait until they get the full game released, then it will be free. But that might be shit, they're on 0.4 right now. They're not even close to 1.0. So you'd be waiting probably at least a year.
talked about, and I've seen in your content, being neurotypical versus being neurodivergent. How does that play into this whole community and kind of the persona you've built? And do you think you're neurodivergent? Do you think you have autism?
I would say that I am definitely on the spectrum. I've never been, professionally diagnosed
I would say he's on the spectrum too. You saw it on Steam? Yeah, it's a good game, man. It really is.
with autism, but, just personal diagnosis. I know that's kind of ridiculous. I would speculate that I'm on the spectrum. And I used to think that was a really bad thing, but now I'm thinking that it's like actually a superpower, really, because you're able to see things and make observations that it just seems like it goes over every normie's head, right? So just the way I see the world
I love how he's calling everybody that's not him normies. We're just normies.
in my worldview, it's actually really favorable. The way I can process information, cut out copes.
It might even be cheaper, Tyler. I don't know for sure. I know when the early access first came out, it was $30. I don't know if that's what it still is. It might even be cheaper now.
And just kind of all these different things. I've really started to like my brain chemistry a lot. So I would say that I'm definitely somewhere on the spectrum. I'm not your average normal guy. I'd say that I'm fairly sociable,
Yeah, he's not normal at all. Something's fucked in his head, dude.
but the things that I'm doing, my interests, how obsessive I get over things, these are all definitely neurodivergent. And that's true within the community to a large degree. I would say that people who are as into looks maxing as
Well, I would say that Chrissy might be able to let you borrow a computer, but I think from this stream, she's already destroyed her monitor and her computer. So I don't think she's going to be able to help you out.
me, definitely aren't always neurotypical. I'd say that almost no one is.
So what are the signs, in your opinion, like of someone who has autism or is on the spectrum?
I would say that it's usually just
Or how do you think your brain works differently?
Oh, his brain works differently, all right.
I think just the way that my brain differentiates from that of a normie is just how hyper logical I am. I am not
We're normies and he's hyper logical. He's hyper logical. He's way more logical than we are.
willing to cope at all. And if you tell me something, or if I have a realization, even if it completely mind fucks me and flips my worldview on its side, if it's true, then I just accept it without a second's glance, right? So and I just don't think that's true for a lot of people. I think that if you told people that they're living a lie, or maybe, for example, they're just fucking their lives up entirely, they would cope, they would come up with all these different things. But if someone told me that, they provided evidence, I have no choice but to just accept it.
I've never done this before on a podcast, but this is a question I've asked people in person. When I ask you to picture a house, what do you picture? Describe it to me.
When you say he is as logical as a pedo supporter, I don't know, man. He could, I don't know that he is yet, but you never know. He could turn into one.
I picture a house. I picture a 2-story house that's actually drawn with colored pencil for some reason.
Is that one you've seen before?
He, asking him, the only way a house would look to him is if he was freaking, it would probably look like a steroid injection. Like he'd want his house built like a needle. That's probably how he would have his house built.
No,
Interesting.
I don't know why. I don't imagine a real house.
Is it pretty detailed, or is it?
No, he don't imagine a real house. He can't even see a real house. His eyes are fucked up as it is.
Pretty like just like the square and the triangle on top.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've noticed some people like on the spectrum are only able to picture things that they've seen before. I'll ask you this one. This is another way. So picture an apple. Describe it to me.
There's condensation.
Jesus Christ. Oh boy, we paused that at the right time. Picture an apple. I would have said round and red, and he says, first thing he says is there's condensation.
On it. It's dark red. And I'm just visually picturing it. I just don't know the exact name of this type of apple. That's the issue.
Is it one you've seen before, or are you like?
Yes.
Oh,
This is a special apple. Yeah, this is an apple that's on the spectrum.
okay. That's interesting too. Huh. Yeah, guys, picture an apple right now. Some people picture a black and white apple. Some people picture like an emoji.
Round and red.
I think the more,
It's basically like I can see it in my brain.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's funny because a house isn't like if I said an apartment, that like you might not picture like a drawing of like a kid's drawing of an apartment. You might picture like one you've actually seen.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of why you have to
Yeah.
ask different ones. But it's really interesting. So 20 years from now, if you look back at your life, what do you think you would say to yourself now?
I would be extremely thankful that I took on so many hardships and did so many difficult things to get myself to the advantageous position that I'll be when I'm 40 because of my efforts.
If he even lives to 40. You know, he keeps taking all the shit he's taking. He might not even see 40.
Right? Looks maxing is not the ends, it's the means, right? So I'm using this to kind of decide what I want to do next. I'm still on the journey phase. I'm still developing, figuring out what I want to do in the world. But I've just come to the conclusion that whatever I decide to do in a few years will be infinitely easier because of my efforts, because of my looks maxing. So I think I'll be very happy with the hard work that I've done.
And if you had to say something to Clav a few months or weeks from now, based on when your surgery is, say your
What kind of name is clavicular? Who come up with that name? Clavicular.
surgery gets completely botched, what would you say to yourself?
I would say that I did something brave that no one else was willing to do, and I would be extremely proud of myself for the dedication and just the how brave it was to take that extra step that no one else seems
No
to be
way.
willing to take. Right? I compare it all the time to starting a business. Right? What if it fails? What if you lose everything? At least you were willing to try, and I think that's just being able to say that I took that.
Now that I can agree with. If he keeps using meth, he will probably join the 27 Club. Probably. But that I can agree with. You know, take a chance, man. Start a business. Take some risk. But don't go injecting your body with shit. Testosterone, meth. I mean, that's a little extreme.
Extra step, that I gave it my all, that I gave it a shot, will be rewarding enough to me that if something goes wrong, I'll always have that.
And if it looks great, what would you say to yourself?
You did good, man. You did good. Because it was a daunting process to have to be able to schedule this whole thing.
You know, I don't know that this is the case, but why does it look like the guy that's interviewing him could be his brother?
All the MRIs, the CAT scans. It's not easy to get surgery. It's months of planning, months of waiting, anticipation, anxiety. So I'll be very satisfied once it's all behind me and I'm ascended. I'm all done.
You're going to mog yourself in the edits in the future.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be fun. I wonder if people will do that. Yeah, that'll be fun. Because it's like, are you the same person, or you're like $1 Million Man, where you're like surgically modified with titanium?
Clav, last two questions here. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Don't do drugs.
I can't point out one thing because I don't really think that anyone has really ever given me worthwhile advice that is just something that immediately.
You know, he sounds like he's like super egotistical. Like he calls everybody else normies. He says, I don't really have anybody's giving me advice that even jumped out at me. Well, he's definitely very self-centered.
Jumps out at me like that. I think people have often led me astray, and I've had to come to conclusions on my own and, kind of figure things out for myself. That's always what I've done. I think that's always what I'll have to do because I think people are so wrong, in terms of their worldview and what they recommend to do.
You know, that's a good point, Tyler. I would actually like to see what his parents look like. Just out of curiosity, I would really like to see what his parents look like. We should start calling people normies. Yeah, whenever Burge goes back live, be like, "Hey, what's up, normie?" He'd be like, "What's a normie?" He'd be like, "You're a normie."
That I just can't ever think that a normie will send me on the right track. It just seems outrageous to me. And that seems super egotistical and shitty to say, but I just rely on my own observations and my own anecdotes
What's up,
and
Norman?
research more than
Yeah.
anyone's word, and I think I'll always be that way.
What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
I'd say that the worst piece of advice I've ever received is to just be confident, right? And this advice.
And then, like 10 years from now, he'll be on a video saying, "The worst piece of advice I ever got was to start smoking meth. And now I'm so skinny and I lost everything."
Has come from a vast amount of people. You see it all the time. It's become a meme now because of how ridiculous it is. But this is something I heard growing up all the time when I would use, steroids, when I would be hyper fixated on the gym and my looks and using Accutane. I'd hear this from my own mom. Just be confident. Just do this. Just be more sociable. The reason it turned into a meme was because of how horrible it was.
See, like, how does this shit even like? How is he even allowed to bring this stuff up on a public forum? Like if I was to get on a public forum, like either YouTube or streaming or whatever, and like went down to Walmart and got me a propane bottle and was like, you can get bulk if you like drink this whole gallon of propane, I'd probably be locked up.
And this is the advice that a lot of blue pillars would give for many years. A lot of people fell for this cope. They would, try to force themselves to go out and cold approach girls and just be confident. And time after time, I'm sure so many people will have relatable experiences with this of them trying to be confident, but it doesn't work, right? Because the shortfall is an aesthetic one, or it's something else. So people are like, hey, maybe it's actually a little bit deeper. Maybe it's actually because of my attraction and not this arbitrary confidence, ridiculous
Dude, the only one that's living in fantasy land is this dude. This dude is living in fantasy land.
cope garbage.
You know what? Maybe that's how I'm gonna start the stream out tomorrow, y'all. I think I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna get me a pride shirt, get me a multicolored hat, and then I'm gonna come on with the Barbie girl song, Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Yeah, I think that'd be a good way to start the stream tomorrow.
So that's probably the worst advice that I've received, and I'm sure a lot of other people have.
So instead of just be confident, what would you say is the recommendation?
Just do whatever it takes is what I would say. Kind of piggybacking off of Rich Piana's whole mentality. I think I'm someone who's very similar, and that's someone I grew up watching, Rich Piana. Obviously, I started
Holy shit, dude. Look at this dude. That is not natural at all. Well, he's on steroids. He is fucking. I mean, look, I'm not knocking him. He's jacked, but that's not natural. That's steroid use for sure. What? No red lipstick? Yeah, sure. Shit. Maybe I'll put some eyeliner on. Red lipstick. Yeah, man. What's his shirt say? Love it, kill it. 5%. 5%. Damn.
watching him after he passed away. But Rich
Oh, he passed away. Not that I wish death on anybody, but I wonder why he passed away. Wouldn't be from doing all the steroids, would it?
Piana kind of just shaped my mentality a little bit with the way that he went about things. He was really willing to do whatever it takes, right? So blast whatever gear, eat 12 meals a day, be force feeding himself, have to drink egg whites, even though, in the videos where he's trying to eat them, it was just disgusting.
How the fuck do you eat 12 times a day? Like, I don't even eat 3 times a day. I only eat once a day. 12 times a day. That in itself would be a full-time job, especially if you were cooking all 12 meals.
And wretched, but he did it every single day and just without fail. So that kind of just really like inspired me to just do whatever it takes. And I'm knowing now that with how crazy the world is, it takes getting surgery, it takes using steroids, it takes fraud maxing and doing all this shit to be
Fraud
able to compete
maxing.
in today's dating market.
Beautiful. Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Clavicular. Where can people find you?
They could find me on Instagram at clavicular0.
Okay. All right, I think we've seen enough of this dude. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, yo. The He's doing steroids, he's doing meth. I mean, that's just fucking insane, yo. And then calling everybody else normies, man. That one guy's photo was nightmare fuel, and so is this guy, clavicular puncher. Yeah, man, he's fucked for real. But this was definitely a good stream, guys, man. This was fun. We had a lot of good laughs, man. This was great. But I'm gonna have to call it a night. How long we been going? Shit, man, we've been going for almost 4 hours, y'all. I'm surprised y'all hang in there with me that long, man. I appreciate it. It's fucking insane. With stream, I appreciate it. But I'll be back here tomorrow, hopefully between 5 and 8, 5, 9 Eastern time. Um, I can't really ever pinpoint an exact time. It has to be within that time frame. It just depends on when I get home, when I get shit done, do dinner, all that stuff. So, but anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate Tyler, appreciate Christy, appreciate everybody on YouTube. You guys are fucking awesome. Rumble as well. But I appreciate you guys. Heck yeah, man. If you want to join me tomorrow, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, y'all.